you. If you had the opportunity, once I open up the stage after we flow for a bit. But most of all, just thank you. Welcome to the show. We are live. Good morning, family. So if you just came in, just hanging out with my Clubhouse family, y'all know I've been shouting about this thing called Clubhouse from the rooftop since December 15th, which is when I kicked off this experience, this accountability partners experience. We've been having some great times over the course of these last 90 days. The people that I have met, the conversations that I've had, the people that have walked away with ideas, the people that have built new relationships, created new connections, gone on to do amazing things together. It makes me proud to be a part of not only creating something like that, but the fact that I get a chance to do like I always love doing, which is to sit back and just enjoy seeing how it all comes together. Just enjoy seeing the beauty of people who are just loving individuals, just putting one foot in front of the other every single day. And how we find our way and we band together. And the thing that I like so much about this app and this particular social media platform, again, it's called Clubhouse. Go download it, go download it, go download it. The reason why I like this one so much is because of the fact that I get a chance to build with people in real ass time. Not just real time, real ass time. And so I'm a person that's been out here in these internet streets, these social media streets, since 2007, 2008 really is when I really got the wheels turning. From 2008 to 2014, I would build a business called Fruition Music that would go from 0 to 6 figures in 5 years. And it would just be built on the back of the fact that I got the opportunity to go full time to do my dream at the age of 21. I got a chance to be a full-time musician, producer, and engineer. And ever since, I've taken that opportunity from the time that I was able to walk away from my 9 to 5, but then take those same 40 hours and transfer it over to practicing music. That was 2003 and I haven't looked back. So I've gotten the opportunity to take what I love doing, to take being myself, to take the things that I've been gifted and to be able to share them with the world every day and make a career from it. And to build tribe on these different platforms. The thing I like about Clubhouse is that you get a chance to do that in real time. And so on December 15th, I woke up and I was like, you know what? I want to use this Clubhouse thing for my own personal accountability so that I can get up and get started on my way. And then in addition to that, what I want to do is take this same motivation that I have, the way that I am about life, and I want to stand in accountability with others who are just like brothers from another mother, who are sisters from other misters. You know, we stand here together Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 10:30. And that goal is accountability. So I've been able to meet close to 1,000 people at this point who are actually on point with me in life. We've been tribe and we've just finally found each other. And so I'm looking forward to doing that. In fact, I'm looking forward to having a conversation with a good brother who has the same name as me. This brother right here, Aaron L. Myers, who is our BPS Spotlight for the day today. So looking forward to chopping it up with him. Can't wait. And so we're going to do that around the 8 o'clock, maybe, might be more like about 8:10 or so. Running a little behind schedule this morning. You know how it goes. But as they say, in the meantime, between time, as always, I get this experience started off with a few thoughts, just a few things to be able to share. Now, one thing I want to share for all of you out there is that I'm really on a huge high this morning because of the fact that, not for what you think, that's part of it though. Yesterday started the Street Serenades Series 2. What is Street Serenades? Well, I'm so glad that you silently asked. Street Serenades is my response to the changing of our world. Street Serenades is a baby that I started off about 6 years ago as a concept called Spur of the Moment. The Spur of the Moment series. It was taking outside, live, in nature, all around. And the goal would just be to play to the soundtrack of life. It's nothing like hearing the birds chirping, hearing the people talk, and hearing the breeze and all the things that you will see and that you will hear in a natural environment. So I started that several years ago, and then with everything changing, I was like, it's time to bring that back. So I brought it back and I renamed it to Street Serenades. And from May 29th, 2020 to November 7th, 2020, I've been able to do 110 concerts around my area, in state and out of state. And I've been able to share so much light and love through music with the people. And it has really touched my heart in a deep way because of who I am as a giver, and also hundreds and hundreds of people. So yesterday kicked off the series, Street Serenade 111. I'm going to see if I can go find a video and I'm going to post it to the chat here. If you're hanging with me on Facebook or YouTube. So it was a great time to be outside. I was at Lake Montebello here in Baltimore. To be outside with the people as they're walking around the beautiful lake on a 73-degree day. Man, to just close my eyes and just hear nature and to be able to do something that I love. Words can't express. Words can't express. So I'm excited about that. So for everyone that's been asking, the calendar will be rolling out real soon. Working on the dates now. You can find the information either on my website at aaronhilltv.com. That's aaronhilltv.com. As soon as you pull up the website, a calendar should pop up. Or if you're hanging out on Clubhouse, you can go to my IG bio and you'll see the calendar at the top of my bio. But I'm excited. In a nutshell, I'm going to be doing 2 dates a week. Thursdays, I believe, are going to be at Lake Montebello. I'm like 99.9% sure of that. I got to be there with my mother. My mother, who lives not too far from there, she often goes there with her quarantine art. That's been her response since March of last year. She called me, she said, son, I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to get an adult adult coloring book. My mother, you all should see this picture she took of herself sitting at my piano. Oh my goodness, it was so hilarious. My mother does not play the piano. It was my first time seeing my mother do something like silly in that way. It was hilarious. So my mother gets an adult coloring book and she says, okay, I'm going to, from this point on, as long as we're in this quote unquote thing called lockdown, I am going to take my time and enjoy my time coloring. And I was like, that's amazing. That's great. My mother did that and had no idea that from that point to now that she would create over 500 original works. Over 500 original works. She had no idea. And that those original works she would sell all around the city and to people, and she would be doing mailing and all kinds of shit. She would have never had this idea. And so it's been amazing being out there with my mom, street serenades, and quarantine black art. My mom is absolutely amazing. Yes, my mom is amazing. And so I'm getting the opportunity to be able to be with my mom in that way. And for us to be out in the streets together where I'm playing the piano and where she's with her art, just bringing smiles to faces. So I've really enjoyed myself. And yesterday was no different. And I look forward to it. It's going to be so much fun. Street Serenades. We are here. And speaking of being here, I want to do a quick refresh once again to say hello to all my peoples out here on these social media streets. My peeps over here on Facebook, hello, and YouTube. And of course, my Clubhouse family. Want to say good morning to the good brother David, to T, and to Aaron, who is our BPS spotlight of the day today. And we're about to chop it up in a few minutes. As always, you all know I like to start off this experience with a few thoughts, a few things just to get our flow and get our mind started for the day. And so with that, here's a few of my original thoughts for you. Just some quotes to carry on for your day. Life is like a roller coaster. It just is what it is. The question is whether you're going to experience the ups, downs, twists, and turns with your hands up, screaming in exhilaration, or balled up, cringing in fear for the whole ride. It's your choice. There's another. Stop caring about others' judgment. They aren't walking in your shoes. You are. You are. Another way I like to put it is start caring when they start wearing your shoes and buying them too. Be an asset, not an asshole. If you feel you have something to say to enlighten others, be inviting, not intrusive. One feels good and may allow you to be heard. The other feels terrible and will get you tuned out before you even finish your first sentence. Remember, tone is everything. Tone is everything. Remember that. I learned that not only as a person, but also as a musician. Tone is everything. And so I'm excited today because I get to chop it up with another musician, another brother, another artist, another advocate, the brother, Aaron L. Myers, who's an artist and author and the host of Jazz Stories, WPFW 89.3 FM. A brother who's close to me in distance because I'm in B-More. And this is DC, my homies in DC. A Leo rising. musical credits like Leo Rising, The Lion's Den, Snowing in Vegas, and the Pride album. I'm excited because I always like to find things that I have in common with people, and so this is no different. It's yet another sequel to yesterday, and the day before, and the day before, and the day before. So with that, I'm going to bring up my brother. We're going to hang out for a second, chop it up, and see how things are going. Brother Aaron, namesake, good morning, fam.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, sir. How's it going, broski?
It's going pretty well. How are you doing?
Man, I'm excellent, man. I'm excellent. Bro, it is so good to be able to catch up with you again, man. Like, we met the other day, and it was one of those situations where, you know, I'm not out here in these Clubhouse streets like much, as they say, right? I don't roam around, you know, because you got to watch where you're going out here. You know what I'm saying? You might bump into some people or fall into some spaces that your ass don't need to be. You know what I mean?
I understand.
Right. So you and I, you know, we meet, I think it was not last one. This was my second time coming in your room. A couple weeks ago, I happened to be, you know, going around. Sometimes I'll go through the feed, like literally like once a week, usually on Sundays after I finish the town hall recap. And I'll just kind of scroll through, and I'm coming from the perspective of like, okay, I'm here, I'm in my space pretty much 24/7, but every now and then I like to go around and just find environments with other like-minded people, preferably like intimate environments, preferably environments where, you know, it's not a whole lot going on, but it's something, a keyword that I resonate with, you know, a concept. So a couple weeks ago, I'm scrolling through the hallway, and I just happened to see Clubhouse Jazz Mastermind series, right? So I see jazz, I see mastermind. I'm like, man, this is my language already. And then I also see, oh wow, the person hosting this room, his name is Aaron too. So I'm like, okay. So we meet, man. I had a blast in your room, and then, you know, wound up coming there last Monday, and just a great time, man. You know, I appreciate what you do in your space, because it's a lot like what I do here in my space, and, you know, in the other spaces that I host, man. So just salute to you, man. I just want to say good morning to you.
I appreciate that.
Oh yeah,
good
man.
Morning to you as well. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. So, bro, we just hanging out this morning, man. And I'm just excited to talk to you, man. So you in DC, right? Are you in DC right now?
That's exactly right. I'm in Washington, DC.
Yo, so cool, man. Okay, so I have a new love affair with Washington, man. So, you know, prior to last year, I hadn't really been in DC like that. Just didn't have a whole lot of things going on there, you know, as far as gigs and that kind of thing. But I always wanted to like feel DC, feel the culture, learn the vibe. Like I always wanted to be present there, right? So July of 2019, I find myself at JoJo's on U Street, right? And I'm there every week. I got the opportunity to be there every week with, have you ever heard of Clarence Ward III?
I've heard of Clarence Ward, yes.
Yeah, so there's a concept called That Feel Good. He's here from Baltimore, killing flugelhorn player, killing saxophone player, killing trumpet player. Like, dude that's just my guy, man. So I haven't had the opportunity to, you know, be a part of his group for the last couple of years. And so he got a residency at JoJo's. So we were at JoJo's every Thursday from like June of 2019 to, you know, all the way up to things got shut down in March. You know what I mean? So it was cool because for me, you know, coming from Baltimore and the type of music that we were playing, which was pretty much like a combination of, you know, jazz and soul. Clarence's influences are like Freddie Hubbard and, you know, Clifford Brown and just like the cats, right? Joe Henderson, like So we're playing, that kind of music mixed with just soulful vibe and flavor, and it was my first time in DC getting a feel of the people. The thing I appreciated, like off the bat, was just how much the people really appreciated like jazz and eclectic music. That was the first thing that really, really got me.
Right.
I mean, every Thursday, man, people were on the edge of their seat. You've been to JoJo's? I mean, I'm quite sure you have. You've been to
I had a
JoJo's?
residency there as well.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said I had a residency there as well.
Yeah, hell yeah. Okay. So you already know the deal, right? Like I'm preaching to the choir, man.
Absolutely.
Phew, people on the edge of their seats, they're there for the music. If you're a musician that's really, really an expressive, you really care about like really expressing yourself and expressing to the people and creating an experience, like it's the greatest. And then in addition to that, I found myself in conversations every Thursday that were like my cup of tea conversations. I mean, even when I would get out the car to load my equipment in, like I'm hearing people walking the street and just overhearing their conversations and just like, yo, I could jump in that conversation right now. We could just roll. Like it was just the vibe, the consciousness of the people, bro. I fell in love with DC. And that's one thing that, that I missed, once things changed or what have you. I mean, I pivoted and got my mind on other things. So I didn't like dwell in it, but like, I used to enjoy driving to DC because I'm a architect kind of dude. Like I love good architecture. I love design and stuff. I love the way that the city is. I love the buildings. I love the flow. It was almost like a quick day trip, home away from home type vibe. So yeah, man, I know I'm going on and on about it, but bro, so it's nice to connect with someone, who's in that area, to just vibe with someone and just connect with someone like-minded, man. You are you originally from DC?
No, so I've been in Washington since December of 2008.
Okay.
I'm originally from Texas. My family has been in Texas since the 1850s.
Wow.
And so we are part of the fabric, literally the soil at this point. That particular state. And so when I moved here, I was originally supposed to be here a week.
Oh, okay.
And I've been here ever since. And I about 2 years after moving here, I made a decision to make DC my home. And once I made that decision, DC adopted me. And they adopted me politically, they adopted me musically, of course, artistically. And this city has really been a supporter of the things that I do, what I do. And I wouldn't have it any other way, really. Yo,
that's so dope. That's so dope, man. Okay, so you got to tell me, man, about this week turned into a whole season, like a whole like life. How did this happen, bro? You're supposed to be there for a week.
Getting to that week, because I lived in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I was living in Hollywood, and I was deciding to pivot in Hollywood, not sure what I needed to do. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna go back to Texas, kind of regroup, come back. And I left for Texas, I believe, on a Thursday or Friday. And then Sunday, I happened to get a phone call while enjoying Sunday dinner. And it was a random call. It was from the Barack Obama campaign.
Wow.
And I'd run for office in Texas. And they wanted to know if I could assist them getting into the county and this, that, and the other, where I was from. And I agreed. I said, I'd love to work with you. And so I worked with the Obama campaign for 9 months.
Wow.
So, had I not left Hollywood, the moment that I left Hollywood, I would not have gotten a phone call randomly at like 2:30 on a Sunday at my grandparents' house, because that's the only number they would have known to contact, in that sense. And then after working on the Obama campaign for 9 months, I went back to Texas. I was going to stay for about a month or so and then go back to Hollywood, because that was always the intention.
Okay.
And randomly, because of where I worked during the campaign in Fort Myers, Florida, because of where I worked during that time, certain people had seen the work that I'd done and thought that I'd be ideal to help a woman here in Washington who was the national director of an organization. She had been diagnosed with uterine cancer.
Damn.
And she was dying, in essence.
Wow.
And they felt that I could come on board and add a lot of value. And so I said, well, I can come out for a week to kind of help you out.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got here, at the time, my offices were right next to the White House. John Conyers was the one who was really influential in getting me here.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking to John Conyers and Nancy Pelosi, autographed a book for my mother, and I met with Harry Reid. And then here I was, a 26-year-old guy.
Wow.
Who all of a sudden I am, 27-year-old guy.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden I am talking to principals. I was talking to literally like Congress people, not their staff, one-on-one, as the national director of the Global Family Program, which was NGO, with the United Nations, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so after that week was over, John Conyers was like, there's no way you can leave.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing very good work. We need you here. This is something. Linda needs your help. And she was asking and pleading if I would stay. And I decided to stay. And I wasn't sure about like how long I would stay.
Right.
And so before you know it, 6 months has passed.
Wow.
You're still doing the work. And I like Washington because Washington showed me that my blackness did not need to be a threat.
Mm. Wow.
That's what it showed me. And I was so unaware of how threatening I felt me being black, just my blackness itself, was not just to the world, but to myself.
Wow.
And coming from Texas, it's natural to understand how one can get that understanding. It's easy now to see how someone can fall into that trap. And after living in Hollywood,
mm-hmm.
it's easy to see how someone, can be in that trap. I always say Hollywood's a beautiful place. It's a fantastic place. But it's not a space where it's pro-black. It's not a space where your blackness is celebrated.
Right.
Your blackness is viewed.
Right.
Your blackness is talked about. Your blackness is written about. But your blackness is not celebrated.
Wow.
You find a lot of black people trying to assimilate so that they may survive. And assimilation is nothing but survival. How can I survive and then possibly thrive under the system around me that surrounds me? And if that system does not celebrate your blackness, all of who you are, doesn't celebrate you, your essence of the person.
Right.
Well, then you're not surviving or assimilating to celebrate your blackness at all whatsoever. So Washington was a city in which I was looking at a city council where you saw young black people there. You saw black people who were young executives. I was watching young people come and start businesses.
Right. And
then artistically, I was seeing young people who were actually, setting out to create their dream. They were setting out to create an experience.
Yeah.
And they had a city that was supporting it. So about 2 years in, I decided to say, okay, well, I want to make DC my home. And once I made that, I had been talking to my aunt, and she said, no one can grow until you put roots down somewhere.
I love that.
You gotta be
No one can grow. No one
your
can
roots,
grow until you put roots down somewhere. I love a good quote, man.
Yeah, exactly, right. And so, after hearing that, I said, well, then let me put some roots down here. And once I made that conscious decision, and I put that out there, then DC said, okay, well, you're going to make me your home, but then I'm going to act like it.
Yeah.
And this became it. And so I've been very fortunate as an artist to use this space, use this in the city to use me in a sense. Where I've been able to tour, Russia, did a 24-show tour in Russia.
Wow.
In 6 weeks, 19 flights in 6 weeks. Celebrated there. I've been able to release all of my albums. I have I'm on a radio show that's heard from Baltimore all the way down to Southern Virginia,
right,
including all of Washington. I'm able to play
that
the
is
music
amazing.
I want to play.
Yeah,
very
man.
high listenership on my show. So I'm very fortunate to have that situation going down. I'm fortunate enough to host television as well and do my music. I mean, I'm very grateful and fortunate. But it's also been a city in which I've been able to evolve and grow myself. And I think, we always like to talk about where we are now, but we don't like to celebrate the spaces where we've evolved from, and that a city would still embrace you the way I was 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 8 years. How I got here, the city embraced me. Mm-hmm. In the spaces where I cringe at myself looking at it now, but I was still embraced by this place.
I love it, man.
So I think that we have to do the same thing.
I feel you on that, man. Your story, I love your story, man. I love your story because, number one, it's a huge point of connection. Like, I'm looking at, okay, I'll go back. So I have an original quote where I say, serendipity plus intention equals life. And it's pretty much to just talk about all scenarios, the good, bad, and the ugly. But the reason why I mention that is because when I look at like every place where you were like randomly this happened and randomly that happened, I'm looking at like what the things that you're saying, like the details that put you in those places, your interests, your work life, your focus, your background. And I don't even know, you haven't even talked much about, we haven't even talked about your upbringing and those kind of things. But I'm looking at like, I'm putting, as they say, putting two and two together, you're into politics, and you have this disposition, and then there's music and these things like, I can almost imagine just some of the seeds that were planted, to even get you to that place.
Well, unawareingly, I was putting a lot of this stuff out in the universe. And, mm-hmm. I always tell people the universe doesn't care whether you plant a rose bush or you plant poison. Mm-hmm. Once you put that into the ground does what the ground does.
Is it?
That attracts to it, and it allows it to grow, and you'll grow poison, and you'll grow the rose bush, mm-hmm. something of beauty. Mm-hmm. And so I had been putting out energy and putting out things in the universe about me being in Washington before I even got here. About working on the Obama campaign before I got here, before being able to really move successfully as an independent artist, mm-hmm. Full time. I've been putting those intentions out there the whole time. I've been putting that stuff out there, and I always tell people it's good for you to look back once you have your process and undermined. You underway. You know what your process is. You know how intentionality works. So once you see how that works, so look back and see the spaces in which you yourself were actually doing that, but you were doing it unawareingly. You were doing mm-hmm. it subconsciously. And so I put out my feelers. It's amazing that I worked on the Obama campaign, but I remember stopping in Borders Books in Hollywood off of Sunset mm-hmm. and picking up Dreams of My Father and then reading most of it while I was there in the doggone store.
Wow. Wow.
And I thought to myself, wow, not only am I excited about, Barack Obama, I moved forward. I said, well, when I do my birthday party, which is in July 27th, mm-hmm. when I do my birthday party, I said, I'm going to do it as a pre-election party for Barack Obama. Now, mind you, wow. I was VP with Universal Jams Entertainment, one of the biggest promotion companies there, parties and for, nightlife in Hollywood on the Strip. And so when I made it a pre-election party for Barack Obama, literally they were like, well, you got to really pay for this yourself. You got to do this yourself. And I said, fine, I'll flip the bill. I'll bear the cost of it. And that night you had, this is dating myself, but this is 2007. That same night, Magic Johnson was having a party for Hillary Clinton.
Oh, wow.
And so I threw the party. We had half the cast of Like I Love New York, the American Biograph Studio, the oldest movie theater, movie company, and the production company in the world, especially in the United States. They were there. Birdie White of Earth, Wind and Fire, he came to celebrate with me. Wow. And we had decided to give out bottles of champagne for only $100. And all of a sudden, about 11:45, the security guard came to me and said, they're out of champagne, but you should see this. And I walked out to the balcony, and as I looked over the side, there was a line wrapped around the freaking club, people trying to get in, showing us, and showing me at least at the time, that, well, if Barack Obama, this candidate, is really trending here in Hollywood, right, he's going to have a good opportunity to win, because Hollywood really doesn't care about politics too much. That's something that they're paying a lot of attention to. So I put all of this stuff, I've laid all of this right, unawareingly, not with not even thinking of it, that I'd ever be here working for the president. Or, for instance, like during this, when COVID hit, I made up my mind. I said, you have a lot of our greats who pass away without you saying thank you, or thank you for how you've influenced my life or whatsoever. And so I've got out a list of people I wanted to write. I wrote people like Cicely Tyson and all these other people. Wow. And the first two responses to my letters I got back one was from Jimmy Carter, him and Rosalind, and then the second was from Queen Elizabeth. Wow. Oh my goodness. And so, I'd always stated I wanted to have correspondence with the Queen. I've always wanted to have correspondence with her. And all of a sudden, it didn't dawn on me that I could have always had it had I just done it. But when your intentions start to match up, when you start to be aware of, like, well, a lot of these things that we feel are untouchable, that you can't reach, everything that it took for the cell phone to exist was in the universe 2,000 years ago. During the time, we could have had pictures of Jesus to see whether or not this was true or real or not. We could have had that. What was not there? The imagery, the vision, thoughts or things, 100%. Things or thoughts.
Let me ask you a question, bro. Let me ask you a question. I'm loving this. We are definitely, when I say brothers from another mother, how old are you, bro?
I'm old enough.
Well, I'm 38. I don't know how old you are. I'm 38, about to be 39. Yeah. Huh? You said you're 37?
Yeah.
Man, that's amazing. Okay. So the thing that's so cool is when I listen to your story, we have a lot in common. Number one, we're both very, very fortunate to have had like a lot of stuff happen early in life that were opportunities, exposure, education. And the two things I see we have in common is like this place of intentionality, this place of like, when our mind is on something, it's just fixated and it just moves forward, and it's the reason why all of these things happen, because even though, like you said, your intention, what maybe not have been one thing, but your intention was another, and all of these cause and effects, all these things linked together. And that's why I always say, again, serendipity plus intention. Your intention is set, you do something, and then the serendipity of some other phone call or some other situation match with it, man. It just unfolds. And I'm really enjoying his story because, like I said, it echoes mine in a very similar way with just how opportunities have unfolded for me and all that in an early age. When you mentioned 26, all this by 26, I'm like, man, that sounds so much like my story. So I got a couple questions I want to ask you to kind of move through and learn some other things about you. Music, man. Let's talk about music. So where's, what, we met in your Clubhouse Jazz series. Music. So are you a, vocal artist, pianist? I've seen some of your videos, but just want to kind of dig it up from the root.
Oh no, I was at first a pianist and then a vocalist, and now I'd say I'm a vocalist and a pianist. Right. So I played the piano since I was 3. I cannot imagine life without the piano.
Yeah. Same here.
I don't know why, and I've said this in interviews, I don't know why everybody doesn't play the piano. It makes so much sense to me, and it boggles my mind that people don't know how to do it, because I just have this ability that it's a code that I've always wanted to figure out, and I've been able to figure out. Always. Right. Since I can remember life and my fixed memories, I remember a piano being present. And the vocal part of me, I've always sung,
Right.
But I had not considered myself just a vocalist
Singing,
until
right.
when I had an accident that my hand was crushed.
Wow.
And I was faced with the possibility of me not being able to play the piano again. Matter of fact, the doctor told me in the hospital that you should focus on being able to use your hand, not being able to play like you normally do. And I was faced at that point in time when having to look at my voice to see, well, what is it giving, you know? And I always tell people, I am just shocked to death when people pay good money and come to see my show and hear me sing. I said, man, y'all are something else.
You sound like my mom, man. My mom says the same thing now when people buy her art, because she never planned on being an artist or anything. And COVID hit, she started coloring, and now it's turned into her doing over 500 original pieces. And every time she's out there every day, like bringing smiles to faces. And every time somebody buys something, she look at me and she go, "These people crazy. I don't know why this stuff ugly." And it's not even that she feels it's ugly, but it's that humility. It's that like wow, you know.
Well, it's a space of like being able to have a talent and being able to use it in a way that it's intended to be used, but you never planned on it. It was never. You never thought that this was going to be the possibility.
Story of my life. The story of my life.
Way back, to being 8, 9, and 10 during the summer, and people may remember this. When you go during the summer, I had to go down to my grandparents' house, and early in the morning they would have the real reruns on. And I'm talking about Father Knows Best.
Wow.
Leave It to Beaver, Dennis the Menace, and then they would have I Love Lucy. And I fell in love with Lucy. Now, I learned about entertainment from Lucille, from that show completely. And if you thought about it, like, Ricky worked in a nightclub. And his wife was trying to get in show business. And his whole life was built around, they lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with people, and their best friends were folks who used to be in show business, but were trying to make ends meet. They owned a property, that kind of thing. And so, as I looked at that, and I remember when they went to Hollywood, and I'm like, man, I want to go to Hollywood. There's one day I would love to be in Hollywood. Yeah. And next thing you know, boom, I'm living in Hollywood one day. And I would think about this, and I would go to those spaces I saw during the show, and I'm like, man, I can't believe I'm here. And I had to, the shift for me, I can tell you, a good shift when it comes to intentionality and lining up one's intentions with what one dreams about, what one thinks about, what one wants to see come true, what one wants to see grow into fruition. Yeah. And I had for years talked about the Grammy, about going, and man, I want to get a Grammy in some type of way. I want to get a Grammy, but and it's still, everything seemed to be just a screen away. Everything seemed to be just only existing on television, not existing in real life in a sense. And I literally I said, I want to go to the Grammys. I want to go to the Grammys. And I got invited to go. And so I, went to the Grammys. This is 2016, 17, I think. And I got dressed, and next thing you know, I'm on a plane, and I'm in Hollywood. And this is a city that I know well. I'm talking to people who I've known for years. And the Grammys have always been there since I've been alive, mind you. And I get to the Grammys, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, this is real. This is something that I can actually touch. This is something that I can actually experience. Wait a minute here. Wait a minute here. How many other situations have I been in that I've said I wanted A, B, C, and D? And I realized that I had fallen victim to, I don't know if you've heard of the experience, the person who says, well, what would you do if you win the lottery? And you're like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to buy my mama this, I'm going to help these folks out, and people try to be noble with what they would do with their winnings if they won the lottery. But at the end of the day, they never buy a lottery ticket. Mm-hmm. You can't win the lottery unless you first buy a ticket. That's one prerequisite you got to have.
At least.
You got to buy the ticket.
Yeah, at least buy the ticket.
And so I found myself realizing, like, no, the Grammys, all and I put out work, and I said, yeah, I wanted to get a Grammy, but I had never done the work to see exactly what does that look like? What does marketing look like? What does sales look like? You have actual examples of people in your field who have done what you want to do out there.
For sure.
And who are successful. We're experiencing the same success you want to experience, you want to feel. And all it takes for you to sit down, focus, take a look at what they have done, the several examples that are out there, dissect them, and eliminate the feeling like, well, that doesn't feel good, or the notion that, well, I don't like that. It's not a matter of what you like because you've not experienced it. Mm-hmm. So if you see 10 people who say you have to do these 3 things to become successful, and because one makes you uncomfortable, you decide that you're not going to do that uncomfortable thing, well, then you're not ready yet to experience success.
100%.
So I had to get in a position where I had to stop saying, well, this makes me uncomfortable.
Right.
Or this here, this doesn't feel good. Well, what makes you feel good is not always what's going to make you successful. We've seen what made you feel good, and you look at where your life is right now. If you're feeling good, it's the prerequisite of you experiencing success, and you have not experienced the success that you want to see. Mind you, you define success. Nobody else defines success.
Well, yeah, that's look, this is what I'm going to say. Bro, you are a teacher for real. Look, you and I have so much in common. I totally agree with you. You know, I think that the feeling of happiness, you know, really can make a difference in your success from the perspective of, like, if you feel good about what you're doing, or at least you got 2 scenarios. You got either you have the opportunity, like how we have had so far, where you get to do something that makes you happy, which makes you give more than 100%. It makes you give 200%. You know, it makes you show up twice as much. It makes you power through. It makes you hang in there. You know, because it actually feeds you. And then you got those things in life where, hey, you just got to do what the hell you got to do to get to the feel good. You know, you got to go through. You got to get the needle. You know, in order for this to work, you got to get you got to go through the therapy. You got to push the weight and hurt. You know, make the muscles burn. You know, and make it hurt in order to push through to the good thing. You know, so I definitely feel you on that. And man, I love what you're saying, man. I love what you're saying. So the piano, you're around the piano since you were 3. My story is it's interesting because we're similar in how life would not be the same without the piano. Couldn't imagine it. To answer your question about why doesn't everybody play it, is really because of what you said right after you said that, which was like, I have wanted to figure this thing out. I've had a drive. I've had like the motivation I've had, you know. You had that. I had the same thing. Mine didn't hit until 19 when I started learning how to play the piano, and then starting to play it, you know, perform at 21. But it was the same exact drive. It was a personal kind of like, I have to figure this out, which is something, of course, everybody doesn't have, because it's just based on like everybody's drive or interest is different, you know. And we just happen to have that drive to have to figure this thing out, you know, and it's brought us so much joy. The funny thing about it is when people say to me, like, I would love to learn how to play the piano, I'm like you in the sense of where I'm like, look, it is always there ready for you. When the student is ready, the teacher shall appear. Like, this thing has so much fun, so much opportunity. And I tell people, you know, there's so much therapy that you can just get if you don't do it for anybody else, but just yourself, just to be able to play and enjoy yourself. So I love that, man. And I love how this has stacked up for you. You have had such a very fortunate experience. And like I said, the only reason why I can high five that is because it really echoes my own. And for us to be right around the same age, man, it is remarkable. So, you know, I want to chop it up with you further. But one thing I want to do is, because I know this won't be our last time really digging it hard, as well as some other folk who are going to join us on this conversation and continue on. And so by all means, we're about to have some fun with this. But I do want to ask you about your services now, like the things that you do, and how can we connect with you to support you on whatever it is that, you know, the various things that you're doing.
Oh yeah, you know, like I said, I serve on the board of. I'm one of the few artists that during COVID I was able to raise over $1 million for my charities and nonprofits that I'm on the board of directors for.
Wow.
So I don't believe in people saying, well, I'm on the board of directors, but you ain't raising no money. You ain't helping them. You know, you figure out how you really are being of service, right? So, you can go to my website, aaron2.me, and find out information there. On my Clubhouse profile, you'll definitely find out where the charities are.
Yeah.
And now you can just Google those charities. You can support there as well. I have my new single drops on Friday, next Friday. And my new album drops on International Jazz Day. And I can say that not only are we dropping the album, but we're dropping the video album the same day.
Nice.
Kind of like a jazz lemonade. And it will be presented by the DC Jazz Festival.
Wow.
So I'm excited about that.
So dope, man.
And if you're in the DC area this weekend, you may be able to see me on Fox 5 talking about the album.
Okay.
And the upcoming work as well.
Bro, this is amazing, man. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person one day, man. Everybody that I connect with here, I always have an investment in actually connecting in real life. Man, I fell in love with DC, and now every opportunity I get to go there, to play there, or to hang out with good people, man, it's always great. So I definitely look forward to meeting you, man. It's a pleasure, man, especially, like I said, from another brother around the same age who's done so much, man. I love to connect with people who are like-minded, who I can learn from, and grow with, and just good, positive people, man. So it's been a real pleasure, not only today, but just in the other couple of times that we've hung out, and even I've been able to be a part of your room experience, man. It's been a pleasure, bro.
Thank you for having me, and I'm gonna get dressed now. I have a meeting and show you how this works.
Yeah.
Not to brag or anything. So when I hang up with you, when I jump off with you, I'm getting dressed. I have to head to play for a funeral. There's a good friend of mine who's lost her son. But as I'm heading there to that funeral, I'll be on the phone discussing with a city council person the rollout, the press rollout of some legislation that I wrote.
Wow. Wow.
And which will be the third law. Will be the third, if successful.
Wow.
If they pass it, it'll be the third law I've been able to write here. So
wow.
So this is, all these things are possible.
Man, that's amazing, bro. Brother to brother, man. Aaron to Aaron, bro. I am so proud of you, man. I'm so honored, amazed by what you're doing, man. It's just so beautiful, man. And like I said, as a person, next time we chop it up, man, I'll tell you kind of all the things that I've been, fortunate to do and that kind of thing. It's just, man, this is a real pleasure, man. Before you get out of here, I want to just open up the room for a second. We want to say hello to Asim, Eunice, David, and T. And one of the things I love to do, especially when we meet new people and the family gets a chance to connect with the family, I love for people to be able to, just greet each other, say good morning and that kind of thing. So by all means, if there's anyone that would like to come up to the stage before the good brother Aaron heads on his way, by all means, I would love for you just to come up just to say hey. If not, because I know how this works, many of you are behind your desk, taking over the world from behind your desk, at your jobs. Understand that too. By all means, continue to hang out. And but if you want to come to the stage, go on and throw up a wave. We'll bring you on up to the stage just to say hey before the good brother gets out of here. Man, it's been such a pleasure. Brother David.
How you guys doing? I just want to say, both of you guys, I really appreciate the insight. And especially, I don't want to hold you up, Aaron, too much, but in terms of, I really connect to the concept of, I think I'm kind of working on this aspect of trying to find the balance between being useful and a servant to others, and also kind of setting my own goals and accomplishing those things. And I just wonder if you have any insight as far as that, because I really like the ideas of just kind of really taking the ambitious ideas and trying to plan those out as best as you can. But I find sometimes that the goals that you set for yourself, those intentions don't always pan out the way you want. And I kind of, that's where I'm at. So
absolutely. So when you look at goals, sometimes people mistake goals and tasks.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So goals are great. You put your goal, you set your attention out there. And then as you're moving toward that goal, there should be certain tasks that you are trying to accomplish a certain way, doing things a certain way that you may reach that particular goal. And so I always ask people every week, are you reaching your goals? Have you reached any goals? Which means, have you been able to successfully see those tasks completed? Now, I often have conversations with people who will be like, well, I almost did all, I did, we set the goal, I sat down with the task, we wrote down what the tasks were, but I didn't get all the tasks accomplished this week. So this is the adverse, and I want people to realize this. When you say, okay, well, I have to do these 6 tasks to accomplish this goal, and I want to accomplish this goal by next Monday, but you find yourself unable to complete those 6 tasks. Something's keeping you from completing those 6 tasks. Well, exactly what is it about those 6 tasks that you do not believe in that goal strong enough in to make you get those 6 tasks completed? Because if you complete those 6 tasks, you reach the goal, then do you want the goal? Yeah. Or have you done the due diligence to realize that's all it takes to get to the goal? Are these six tasks? Is that it? Should one task be actually 2? Success is that you're doing those tasks that you need to do so you can reach your goal. You're constantly moving forward toward whatever you're doing. Now, when you talk about being of service, it's up to you to really suss out how much time do you really want to dedicate toward being of service to others outside of what you're doing and whatever your career is going to be. So, for instance, I'm on the board of directors of 4 nonprofits. I know how much time a month I'm going to spend doing that, and I have no problem doing it whatsoever. The moment when you're being of service of others and you start to feel resentful, well, then there's a problem. That's you need to look at what the balance of time that you're putting out and say, okay, well, I don't need to do that or whatever. But when you look at your intentionalities and say, well, sometimes intentionalities don't line up. Well, the intentionalities have no other choice but to line up because it's what you're putting out there. Yeah. It makes sense. Totally. It's definitely validated the things that I was thinking about. So I appreciate that. I hope that was helpful. Yeah, no, it was helpful, definitely. And I think that, I'm at the point where it's about efficiently, like I have the drive to complete the goals, but it's about efficiently, like, getting the task done that I set for myself in a practical way and getting out of my comfort zone to really drive myself to do that and really push out the comfort zone. Have you written them down? Yeah, I write everything down, and I have no problem with getting things done, during the day. It's just about focusing them more. So, I mean, when you talk about what I asked, if you've written down your intention and you've written down what it takes to get there. Yes. But there's more details I probably have to go into for certain things, which I'm aware of. Yeah. Okay, so what's stopping you from doing that? I think there are a few different, sometimes there's too many goals and they kind of overlap and I have to kind of edit them a little bit, you know what I mean? And focus on one thing at a time. There's no such thing as too many goals. There's no such thing. Gotcha. No such thing. Yeah. So the thing is that like if you have a goal and you're looking to go towards your goal, know that other people have either reached that particular goal, or if you're doing it for the first time, if you're blazing the trail, then you're setting the tasks yourself as far as what that goal realized looks like. Yeah. So, for instance, if I have a goal to play the piano, I have a goal not only to play the piano. That's a general. I'm a drummer, by the way. So okay. Well, so you said my goal is to play the drums. Okay, well that's a very vague goal. Right, of course. Because you can play the drums poorly. Right. Sometimes I feel like the goals I mean, I hope I'm an okay drummer, but sometimes I feel like
you are, brother. You
are. For myself, even musically, I hit brick walls in terms of career and finding that balance between separating the career aspect of music
and the personal
joy
goals.
Of music, which is always a problem. Well, Are your goals specific?
What's that?
Are your goals specific?
Yes.
Are they very specific?
Well,
Well, I mean, because you can, I always say this.
By the way, this is hard for me to talk about publicly because I'm already getting out of my comfort zone, putting myself out there vulnerably.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. But like, I know my success did not start until I began to say, well, I want to entertain. Okay, you can entertain. Well, I want to entertain in this particular way. Okay, I want to entertain in this particular way to these particular people. Now I want to entertain in a particular way to these particular people during this particular time, singing or playing, and I had to hone that thing all the way down.
Yeah.
Till it was. So this is what I want, and we all know what we want. Like for instance, do you know how much money you want to make this year?
Yes, I actually have a specific goal to buy a house, and I calculated certain things that I need.
said, do you know how much money you want to specifically make this year? That specific number.
I have it. Yes, I do.
You have that specific number.
I do have a specific number. I've calculated certain things, so I have a goal in terms of monetary.
Right. You have it broken down by month, week, day.
I have it right. I have it broken down, and I have an app that actually helps me budget and set those things up.
Okay, so if you have that written down and you know what it takes, so then at that point, all you have to do is follow that particular model. That's not difficult.
Right.
So,
no.
I had a goal to make. I've always had the goal. I said I had a goal to make $14,000 or something at a month or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so last month I did that.
Yeah.
Aaron,
I think if I'm being real, it's for me. It's about. I'm going to let you go in a minute. It's about. Like really, like I said, focusing because I'm open in terms of a lot of different goals, and I think that sometimes what gets in the way is like really focusing and directing those and knowing what I want from that standpoint.
For sure.
From that flexibility. So yeah, but I appreciate that. Thank you both.
No doubt. Brother. I know where I failed and where I would fail, and when I say fail, I mean where I would let myself down.
Yes.
It's when I was not specific about what I wanted, and then I was not honest with myself.
Yeah.
About like, if this is what I say that I want, then I understand that since I have not reached it already, I must do things differently from what I've been accustomed to doing. I have got to move differently. That means at times I must be uncomfortable.
Right.
I have to do things I may not want to do because I'm not attaching my success to how it feels, but I attach my success to realizing me reaching this particular goal.
So the other thing, one of the things, and I appreciate that, Aaron and David, I really appreciate you opening up, bro. Thank you for being open, and trusting. This space is safe for you. So thanks for that, bro. And I want to just add this on there too, to kind of tie a bow on the top. One of the things that to me is the obvious part of the process, which to me echoes here, is it's the yin and the yang. It's the push and the pull of you only are as clear about what you want and can be as specific as you can be specific. One of the things that happens in the process is just by exploring, just by having conversations, just by all the experiences, it starts to become clearer to you what you want, you know what I mean? And then then you're able to even get more specific. So I like the push and pull of it. When I'm figuring out what I want, is the best thing I realized. And my mom taught me this from day one with how she just raised me. It's like she didn't even know she was teaching me. She was just giving me an experience. And I realized that that's the way to figure out what you want, is to like literally just experience shit. Just experience shit and then keep reflecting and then keep drilling.
It's a process of kind of letting life unfold and
and then
but also setting goals.
And wait a minute, and just because we gotta jump to the next segment, so I don't want to pan it out too far. But I love the chop up. I love the thoughts, and I love that what we're sharing. And like I said, the only reason why I wanted to put a bow on it that way is because what you then realize is then this is the way life goes, and it's the push and pull. It's so wild. You see it in everything. Yeah. It's like you set goals, then you live from living, that living helps you to refine your goals. So then you sit down at the table again, and then you get even closer. And then from doing that, then you go back out and live again. And then that helps you refine it. And refining goals helps you live. And living goals help you refine. Living helps you refine goals. Like it just keeps going back and forth. So again, that's what I love about this, because what we've done here is just added to the experiential part of just like having an experience, which then continues to refine. You know what I mean? So I love it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And you too. And David, I can't wait till we can hit again, man, down at Greg's Bagels. I know it's gonna be real soon, man. I got out yesterday, David, and did the first street serenade, bro.
I saw you. I said hi as I walked.
Oh shit! Right.
It's okay. Yeah.
Yo.
The Friday I walked away as you were like talking to somebody. So.
Bro, when I tell you I was out there with the biggest smile on my face and in my heart, bro, you could see exactly how happy I was, man. It was such a nice day yesterday, wasn't it?
Beautiful.
Whew. So yes. So brother Aaron, man, again, bro, much love to you, man. This has been great. I can't wait to chop it up with you again, man. Thanks for all your gems, man, and all your energy. And brother David, man, I thank you so much, man, for sharing. Thanks for this chop up, man. And
thank you.
Yeah, and if you brothers got to go, man, I just want to wish y'all an amazing day today on purpose. Like,
thank you very much.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great Friday. And everybody, let's say what's up to Sherry as well. Sherry, good morning. Sherry.
Good morning. Hey guys.
Sherry, Aaron meets Sherry, Aaron Myers. Sherry, I met Aaron in his Clubhouse Jazz Mastermind series that he has on Mondays. And of course, David is, I don't know if you remember David, but David is the drummer that I play with down at Greg's Bagels when I'm playing with Eddie down at Greg's Bagels. So nice. David, Sherry, David, Aaron, Sherry, Aaron.
Good morning, Aaron and David.
Yes. So Aaron,
I just jumped in at the tail end of this conversation.
Yes.
So I'm on fire now because, I'm a fan of doing what you need to do.
Right.
Just learn something new, right?
Right.
So I love the conversation. Listen, if you read my bio, this is how much, because at the end of my bio, it says, I sold everything that I own to pursue what I love. And I did. I love it. Now, it's not always easy, but goddamn it, I'm having the time of my life.
Right. And that's what this is all about. That's why I love this concept, because that's what we're doing. We're standing together with people who are moving in that direction, who are there and who will continue to strive and pull others on the way. Brother Aaron, man, much love to you, bro. I know you got to pop out. David, if you want to.
Thank you very much, brother.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Can't wait to talk to you again, man. Oh, my goodness, man. We got so much to talk about. And like I said, man, it's really, really a pleasure to meet another brother who, again, is what I experienced not only in this environment, but just in my walk in life, connecting and attracting people who we've been on the same path, even if we've been a city apart or worlds apart, man. So much love to you, brother.
Take care, brother.
You too.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
You too. And brother David, by all means, if you want to continue to hang around for the convo, bro, we're about to bring others to the stage. If anybody wants to come to the stage, please, you know what to do. Throw up a wave. We keeping this thing going. I want to say hello to Nora, Andrea, T, Asim, Eunice, and everybody who's hanging out with on FB. David Tisdale says, AP, what's up, bro? Watch and listen to you yesterday while I was working. You were amazing beast on that piano. Thanks a lot, man. I might actually play another tune in a few minutes. We'll take a poll. We'll see see if, I don't even know why I'm saying that. I'll probably jump on anyway, but I would still like to include you all. And when I tell y'all I am on a natural high and some other shit, because yesterday started the Street Serenades series number 2. Street Serenades, for those that don't know, has been my response to the changing of our world. And I actually started it about 7 years ago as a concept called Spur of the Moment series, where I took my piano outside to nature At the time, the first place I went was Liberty Reservoir, one of my favorite places since I was 16 years old. And I got my first car, my first little Toyota Corolla SR5 Sports Coupe. And so I went to that place, and it's been a favorite place ever since. I took my piano there several years ago, and I filmed a couple videos. It was the Spur of the Moment series. This last year, 2020, when everything changes, March hits, and I'm like, you know what? I was going to bring my series back anyway this year, and I decided to rename it as Street Serenades. From May 29th, 2020 until November 7th, 2020. I think it was November 11th. I actually did 110 concerts around the DMV area, taking my piano outside and just playing to nature, playing to the community, the people, the beautiful children. In fact, the very first time that I got this piano that you all see behind me, my first experience with that piano was playing the piano for two beautiful little girls who were walking by Wyman Park with their dad. And I got a chance to play one of my meditations for them, and they were so excited. I'm going to put that video up today. It's called Mansions Meditation Street Serenade for the baby girls. And it was amazing. It was my first experience. And so with that, yesterday was Street Serenade 111. And when I tell you I was out there with the biggest smile on my face, yeah. Well, if you want to see it, just go to my Facebook page. It's the last video there. And so not only was I there by myself, but I was with all the beautiful people and my beautiful mom, who you'll see in the background with her quarantine art. So every Thursday, 4 p.m., you can be able to catch myself and my mom at Lake Montebello, being able to share with the people, put smiles on faces, and just bring our light to the forefront to just help our world through this. You also see other people with me, because I'm going to be teaming up with my trio, Fruition Experience, and all the people that you all see me collab with. We're just going to be down there giving you that soulful taste while you walk around the lake and just enjoy yourself. So I'm excited about it. And so with that, again, if you'd like to come to the stage, go on and throw up a wave, you know how it is. The main goal is to say hey, to hang out, have some great laughs, some great conversations, and even greater affirmations until that 10:30 time. And so if you like to do that, come on up. And if not, you're taking over the world from behind your desk or living your life. Much love, and thank you so much for making this your background soundtrack. Not just this morning, but every morning where you hang out. Everybody, on that tip, let's say good morning to Sherry. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's happening, Sherry? Okay, Sherry must be taking over behind her screen. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to play a tune for y'all. Let me see if my piano's on. Oh yeah, let's get it. Yeah. Okay, so yesterday was an amazing day. It was a lovely day. Today is another lovely day. I'm actually kind of mad because, well, not mad. Okay, I'll be here on Clubhouse at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the Clubhouse Live Concert Series. Teaming up with the brother LaChris. You might actually see him in the room in a few. And the sister, I believe her name is Yolanda. And they are here. They do Clubhouse concerts. So I'm actually going to be presenting and doing a piano serenade, a part of the Clubhouse Live Concert Series at 4 p.m. I'm going to share the link in a few minutes on all my platforms, so you're going to be able to see it there. And then also, I'll be here 4 p.m. So what I'm going to do is, yesterday was such a lovely day, and today is one too. I'm going to play Lovely Day, Bill Withers. Let's get it. I hope y'all enjoy this. Yeah. So I hope that helps you all to have a lovely day today. It's one of my favorite tunes to play. Lovely Day, Bill Withers.
That was so beautiful.
Wow. Thank you.
And one of my favorite songs also.
Ta-ta you, babe. In the words of Johnny Carr. Thank you, Johnny Guitar Watson. Ta-ta you, babe. Thank you. You know how many people I realize don't know about that song? Like, there's so many people that don't know. I'm like, wow. I would have thought I was the last one to the party. But apparently not.
No, you're one of the only ones that like really love that song and remind us of it. You know what I mean? Not that other people don't love it, but you always bring it up. So
yeah, that's a good point. You know, I'm glad you said that too, because you know, for me, it's something so simple, but I think it's something so vital. You know, that song. Besides the fact that, I mean, Johnny Guitar Watson is just that funky, dope. Like, oh man, he just give you that soul. But the concept, ta-ta you know, you think about the way that children say thank you many times. You know, they say ta-ta. You know, and so that for me just kind of takes me back to something so simple, something like how much it means just to say thank you, you know, and that a kid can even express thank you, and they often do in that form. And even when they can only say ta-ta you, it's still just like one of the greatest feelings, you know. It's one of the first expressions of generosity or accountability or just honoring another person, just saying thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you is an important phrase to know and to use often.
Couldn't agree more, you know, And so on that tip, I just want to say again, ta-ta you, baby. Thank you. All right. You know, I tell people this is no downer to myself, because I've found like my sweet spot as far as my voice with certain things that I can sing. But I tell everybody, like, if I actually could sing, oh man, I mean, y'all might not like me, because I mean, the voice is something that you can take you take it everywhere you go. You know, as a piano player, I gotta haul equipment and I gotta have batteries and electric and shit. But a vocalist, like, you are your instrument. You know?
Yep, I agree.
I mean, you know,
so I'm gonna break the rules, and I'm gonna invite one of my favorite vocalists to the stage.
Oh shit!
Because I miss her.
Oh shit!
You know who you are. What up, girlfriend? What'd you say now? Good morning, girlfriend. How are you?
She said, "What'd you say now? What was that?" I mean,
one of my favorite vocalists.
I mean, you know,
I love this video.
It is what it is.
Thank you. I was working on my Britney Spears impression yesterday, so it's amazing. OMG, like the songs that I love to sing are like amazing, and like I'm just like so excited to like come to America, so like I can have a career.
America.
I have a friend who talks like that, and Erin, you know her.
Oh my god, I'm the friend who talks like that.
Right.
Me, holy shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
who is that? Who is that, Coco? Who are we speaking to? Who is?
Okay.
Who is that character? What's her name? What's your name, sweetheart? What's your name? It's nice to meet you. Hey, Nikki.
Her name is Nikki. She grew up in Toronto, and that's how she talked when she was in grade 8 and grade 9 and grade 10. Like, she was a valley girl.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was like actually my voice, like when I was like a young teenager. So I was like really fast over there, so I was saying everything like that. But it was like really, really fun. And everybody loved it, but like not really. So yeah, that's what that was.
Okay.
When I was a teenager. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Like identity crisis. Yeah.
You crisis? You said crisis?
Yeah, like I was having an identity crisis because I was Black, but I didn't know it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah.
That's literally how I sounded in high school. Like that's how I spoke.
Right.
Oh my God. I thought it was just the Valley Girl phase where you were feeling moody.
No, that was my voice. That was my voice.
It goes with a whole percent. Why does it go along with saying everything twice as fast and raising the end of every sentence like it's a question? Like what?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I grew up, really was one of the only Black girls in my school for a long time. And it was just, that was the era, that was when it started. And, we have these sayings like, oh my gosh, gag me with a spoon. Like it was a whole thing.
Oh my gosh, gag me with a spoon.
Yeah, that was the whole Valley Girl phase. I remember that. Everybody, I remember that. But I don't know, Coco, like you, I was the only Black person in my school, that was in elementary school.
Right.
Well, not the only. I would be the only one in my class, and I was probably one of about 6 in the elementary school.
Right.
But I get it. And I think, in all fairness, in high school, you're trying to figure out your identity anyway. Yeah. So whether you were a Valley girl or a grunge girl or,
it was whatever. Bad though. I tried to tease my bangs, like how so I could feather it and all that. By the end of the day, I had a big old piece of bush right in the top of my forehead. It was like an afro puff in the wrong spot.
You got a pom pom in the front of your head.
I did. I had a pom pom. I was trying to tease my hair. I put hairspray in there. It was like a hard, stiff, you can't comb out pom pom.
Damn. That one you don't want to bump into, you be like, God damn, did I just bump into your head?
That's right. Yeah, Brillo pad. My mom was like, Coco did the dishes. I couldn't find it. I just bared my head at the sink and
oh my goodness. You are a fool.
Oh my God.
Wow.
To hear you, my friend. I'm happy to hear you this morning.
Yeah, it's been a busy week for me this week, and I am I'm just about to go into another meeting. It's been back-to-back meetings this week, so yeah.
Now, besides your meetings, you've been telling me that you've been starting to really just like have so many people that are coming through on the client tip now. That's been exciting.
It is exciting. I actually named my room something I finally got my Clubhouse.
Oh shit! Let's talk about it. Oh snap!
So
your name is what? Wait a minute, I missed that part. You said what?
She didn't even say it yet.
I my first Clubhouse.
Okay. All right. Let me mute out.
No, it's okay. Yeah, so I was trying to figure out what to call all the individuals that I've been working with.
Yeah.
And these powerful speakers that are coming to my stage are revolutionaries. Right. They are they've had a revolutionary moment in their own life, and now they're telling their stories to revolutionize. So I'm calling in the Clubhouse Revolutionary Speakers.
Nice.
So that's the first one, Revolutionary Speakers. I made it last night. I decided it's going to be enough. And so we're not necessarily motivational. We're not inspirational. We might be a little bit transformational. What we really are is revolutionary, trauma-informed speakers.
Well, congratulations, because everything you just said you're not was all encompassed in revolutionary when you said it.
We're not just, I should say, we're not just.
Right.
And that's the concept of when you want to be a revolutionary speaker, you have to be all the different speaker archetypes, right? You've got the teacher speaker, you've got the coach, you've got the guru, you've got the motivator, you've got the, there's about 7 to 10 different speaking archetypes.
Right.
So when you are a revolutionary, because you have to take into consideration your audience,
right,
and who's in your audience and the purpose of your speech, you want to employ all of those elements.
Right.
You need to be motivational because your content is so heavy. You need to teach so that you can help people to overcome their challenges. You need to be healing and a guru and all of that, coach to encourage people to keep going all at the same time, which technically is a revolutionary, a revolutionist, so to speak. So I finally have some clarity on what to call it, because we are literally wanting to change and shift the culture, which is a revolution, right? When we're trying to fight against rape culture and patriarchy and and all of these different violence against anyone, and anti-abuse, those are very revolutionary ideas, and so that's what it's going to take. It's going to take a revolution.
Oh my gosh!
In order for us to heal.
You know what this also sounds a lot like to me? Sounds a lot like how I play jazz. When you were talking about bringing all those things together, it reminds me so much of just my journey with how I'm able to convey music successfully to different people. It's because of the fact that I pull from all this toolbox of all these different tools, for one conversation. So I could not resonate with that more. Wow. Revolutionary speakers. Let's get it. Coco, I'm so excited.
Yeah, so you both need to be in there, because you are definitely revolutionists, and it's not just about that's not just trauma-informed speakers, because I was going to call it Trauma-Informed Speakers Club, but it's not. People are talking about other things besides trauma.
Besides trauma,
there's loss. There's just so many. The topics are endless.
Yeah.
And so I'm starting to work with very specific type of individuals, which is really exciting. Military personnel, athletes. I have my first athlete that I'm going to be coaching to create a whole program for Black boys, as well as this keynote, and then C-suite individuals that have been, working in corporate America, but have a traumatic story to tell and have to keep their reputation intact. So there's a formula that allows people to do that. So last night's room was really cool. We had some great conversations with different individuals about how to keep their audience safe when they're telling their story. I'm even working with someone to help them write their story. They don't necessarily want to be a speaker, but they want to write it. So
I love that.
They just need help unpacking it.
I love that.
So yeah. So I'm gonna. Which means I have to rebirth. Write your pain into power. How to turn your traumatic story into how to turn your painful story into a powerful book. It's going to be one of the rooms. So.
Right. The thing I like about this, with what you're saying is, with this revolutionary speakers concept, it's like it's like if you can imagine like the shape of an hourglass, how at the top is wide, then it's skinny in the middle, then it's wide again. It's how I kind of see what you're doing right now in this journey. So for instance, you are this person, who has this diverse palette, to pull from because of life experience. And then you're now bringing it to this bottleneck where, and then on the other side, it's opening back up again, because just by you working with people from all these different walks of life and for all these different reasons, I love the fact that not everybody you're going to be working with is interested in being a speaker. I love the fact that not everybody you're working with is interested in one particular thing or another, because you have a gift to help the world, like to help so many people. And the first stage, I remember thinking about this when you did your first room, and as I was listening to you speak, and I've heard you speak for over a year or so now. But in this environment, it dawned on me as soon as I heard you speak, I was like, wow, Coco's gift helps a person from all walks of life to stand on many stages. And the first stage being literally their own life, when they put their feet on the ground and stand up each day when they get out of their bed, like the stage of the ground of life, and how they can
the stage inside your own heart, because we do have stage. We speak to ourselves all day long, whether we realize it or not. So what are you? I remember fighting with my motivational speaker inside my heart. I'm like, you shut up, I'm trying to be depressed.
Yeah.
But there is a stage inside of our minds, inside of our hearts, and that's the first stage. That's the stage that matters the most. And from that stage, we can to the world.
Right. And literally the stage of how to live the next moment of your life, like how to stand on your 2 feet and literally live and move forward with your life. What you help people with from the ground one is how to deal with their trauma, to walk on the stage of life, to cope with everyday life, to literally, you know what I mean?
And I haven't even touched those subjects yet here on Clubhouse. I've just totally been engulfed in training speakers.
But here's what I'm telling you, Coco.
But there's another piece to that I'm thinking, well, there needs to be like 8 days in a week, not 7.
Well, Coco, I feel you on that. But here's what I'm really telling you. I'm saying that anytime you open your mouth and you start engaging with the person here, the impact that it has is like having a therapy or counseling session. Like the way you phrase things, the way you help a person to see their pain or how to deal with it just in their heads, it's like you're teaching people how to apply it to everyday life, literally with every single thing you do, even when you're training, speaking, like all of that. And that's what the thing I'm really saying. It's not that it needs to be more days. I'm just highlighting really how deep your work is, where even when you're training speakers, you're at the same time helping and supporting and coaching and counseling and being therapeutic to those same people and to everybody else listening, to know how to just live life from day to day with having these experiences and being able to stand on the stage of life every day and survive and thrive. So that's what I want to give you your flower, and hold up a mirror to. That's what you're doing every time you open your mouth and talk to a person. The way you make people feel good, the way you validate people, it immediately shows them how to work with their trauma and how to be on the stage of life every day, surviving and moving forward with that experience. So just kudos to you. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Coco kudos. Coco kudos. Coco's kudos. That sounds like some cookies, doesn't it? Coco's kudo cookies.
Yes. OMG. So
well, I have to run to my meeting in 2 minutes. I'm glad I got a chance to say hello to everybody. Say hi to Eunice and T and Sherry and Eric Harrison and LT and the house and building and Sherry. I miss you guys so much. I have just been working my little behind. No, don't lie now. I've been working, and it's exciting. So love you guys so much, and I was gonna say I'll see you tomorrow, but no, Saturday.
No doubt, but we will see you tomorrow. Are you holding your room tomorrow evening?
Oh yeah,
let's get it.
Under the Clubhouse, which hey, Mr. Eric Harrison, you gotta join my Clubhouse. Revolutionary Speakers, come on now.
Whoop,
so
whoop.
Raise your hand if you're going to join. I'm saying you're coming up on the stage, but this is a new trick that I've heard. This is a new trick that I learned in someone's Clubhouse. When you want your audience to respond,
right.
When you say things like, "Okay, you don't have to come to the stage, but raise your hand if you agree with what the person said," and then people raise their hands. I was like, "Okay, this works."
Let me tell you.
Put the hand back down.
Let me tell you what that's like the equivalent of. That's like the equivalent of being in church. And where the minister says something and he wants you to respond or she wants you to respond, and whether the thought makes sense or not, it's like, oh yeah, y'all don't hear me, y'all ain't saying nothing to me.
No, it's not. That's not what it is.
All right.
Don't do that. Yeah, kind of look weird. Man,
I'll behave. Brother Eric, good morning, fam.
What's happening?
What's going on, bro? Ski. And it looks like Eunice. Oh, maybe she made a mistake and raised her hand. She's denied. She hit deny. Sorry, Eunice, I saw your hand raised there as well. Brother Eric, good morning, fam.
I said, raising her hand because she agreed. All right, I'm gonna talk to you later.
Brother Eric.
I chased you away, sis. What's happening?
What now?
I chased you away. You said you don't.
Yeah, I have a meeting right now. I'm late.
Man, we just flipping meetings. Anyway, go ahead. Take over the world.
Yeah,
right.
We need to connect, Mr. Harrison, soon.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Bye, everybody.
All right, Coco. Love you too, Coco. Have a great one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, family. Yeah, good morning to the brother Eric, LT. Sherry, are you Sherry, did you say you have a 9:45 this morning? Do you have an appointment, Sherry?
10 o'clock, but I'm about to bounce because I got to get to it. So.
Perfect. All right, cool.
Perfect.
I mean, that's acceptance 101. That's acceptance 101. It's like, okay. Accept in the moment and know that all is exactly how
but thank you for having my back, Eric. LT, good to see you this morning. I'll be in the audience if I can, but y'all have a great day.
Yes, you too, Sherry.
What's up, sister LT?
LT,
what's going down?
Would it be LT? It's early.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all be? I'm still in bed for the moment, so I just stopped in for a moment and get my butt up so I don't know. You know what? I have been feeling like not wanting to be on schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're kind of trained to do everything scheduling. Like, there's always a intent. There's always something to do. And so I've been I'm interrupting this pattern of always having something to do and always at a time and be here, be there. Man, they trained us good, man. They conditioned us so well. Yo, Eric, you got to call me, Eric. Let's talk about things. You got to call me. So this is part of how, just interrupting certain agreements and not feeling guilty when you just being still and laying in your bed and not having a meeting and not doing that. So yeah.
Welcome.
You'll come over me a little bit, still laying there. I say, yeah, nigga, I'm laying here.
Right. Yeah, no.
Talk to my pillow. Yeah, I'm laying.
Yo, that's the new conversation I'm about to have with my pillow.
Yeah, it's not reminding me that I'm still laying here. I get to lay here just a little bit longer.
Yes.
Okay, because everything, I find myself sometimes just getting up and I'm doing these routines and this, that, and the other. And I tell you, when I don't do a routine, right?
Yeah.
I have a more of a line day that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
It's really,
yeah.
The first time it happened to me, I was like, wait a minute. I didn't meditate. I didn't do this, that, and the other. And things just started happening. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So you ain't got to be that rigid.
You yield into the flow.
Yeah, you ain't got to be that rigid. You can, do it when you're inspired. So that's what I was been teaching is do what you do when you are inspired.
Yes.
Spirit to do. And not because it is
not because you have to. Yep.
Not because you have to. Just learning to live inspired living.
Let me tell you, welcome to my whole life. Welcome to my 2020, where I leaned in more deeply. Welcome to my world before that point, and especially since 2003, since I got an opportunity to be, full-time musician and to just lean into what I love and what made me feel good. Like, we let it flow like this, like that, yield into that flow. I like it because it allows you to be it's like you could be strategic, right? And you could have some light planning, some light checkpoints if you need to. And then in the midst of those checkpoints, you yield for the flow. It's for those that are into music or have ever seen sheet music. When you look at a piece of music, if you ever seen a jazz chart, we call it a lead sheet. There are chords that are on the paper and you see the names of the chords. So they give you checkpoints. In between those chords is nothing but space. So you could yield to the flow. So you could have the place for that improvisation. You could have the place for just allowing for the process to unfold and not defining it beforehand. So that's what I like about what you're saying, LT, is like that particular kind of flow. Literally, that was my 2020. I was allowing myself to flow and bend with the changing winds, and everything worked out tremendously, because it wasn't laziness, it wasn't procrastination, it wasn't any of that kind of stuff. It was actually just wisdom, So
Yeah.
I love it.
That being rigid like that, man.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm hearing, being rigid. Whereas it's like, no, I gotta do this. Just think about just the hardness that you introduce to your mind, number one.
Right.
It's no longer flexible, neuroplasticity.
Right.
And I know you've talked about that, Aaron.
Yeah.
And then also think about even your blood vessels. That's why they talk about the hardening of the arteries and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, you can get into what you eat, but also your mental affects your body. And, there's so many studies that say and talk about when the body says no.
Right.
When the
body says no. When the body says no.
When the body says no, it's like that you need to change your mindset as well. And so many people just deal with the, man, I can't do this, or I gotta do this, or I gotta exercise. But man, you ain't dealing with your mind. And that's kind of what both of you guys are talking about.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes. Yo, that's a hook right there. When the body says no.
Yeah.
Where the body says no. When the body, that's a hook right there, son. Yo.
But
feeling,
man, I deal with that all the time.
Yeah.
Especially when you're building something.
Right.
When you're building something, you got your things that you got to get done.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, if you fall into that routine, it's tough, because you miss some things too. Subtle nuances.
Yeah.
Subtle nuances. Are beautiful.
That was powerful, man.
Mm-hmm.
That was powerful on so many levels, because sometimes I'm talking about how the body records and how it remembers, and it will speak back to us and let us know, but we don't honor the body.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just I'm not gonna no, you're just being lazy, and that is conditioned thinking.
Right.
Thinking that just because you're not beating the pavement, if you're not hustling, if you're not grinding, like those type of things, it's so in disalignment. And it's someone made a post yesterday and said something to the effect of don't take easy or something like that. And I asked her, explain. And she began to say, easy is this easy. I said, life is easy. We've come from, this space of, some of us have grown up in the space of, it must be hard for it to work.
Yeah, right.
But when you start going on easy street, you realize that is so far from the truth.
Right.
Like, we complicate so many things because that's what we're used to. And I remember when I moved out of environments that were traumatic. I moved out of environments that always had resistance, and I had none.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest shit ever. I'm looking like, wait a minute. So you're telling me that I don't have to be frustrated right now?
Wow.
So my body was telling, it was things that my body was saying that was like, yeah, it's okay to relax.
Right.
Yeah, it's okay to be at peace.
Right.
I'm like, what? Like, man, I get to have total peace. Yes, you get to have total peace. It comes down to us giving ourselves permission.
Yes.
But we don't know how to give permission.
Right.
We want to have someone to save us instead of being our own rescue. And so I rescued myself.
Yeah. I love that.
I got out of my own way. I moved out of environments that were restrictive and painful and hurtful. And I moved away from people who carry that energy. Oh, come on, Spirit.
Telling you.
That energy as well.
Let's go.
That I live a very peaceful life. And so it's been a little, my body has been saying no to different things that I've been doing, even in business.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. I needed that. And just learning not to buck against it.
Yeah.
And say, oh, you're saying, because people are telling us, right? And and this is a little business talk, you know, that you gotta have all this in place, right? And you're looking like, because here it is. The thing is, people have been telling me you need to start an email. I'm not an email person. Like, seriously, my body was not thank you, Eric. You just freed me. My body has, my mind, my body, the whole part of my being has been in resistance. I have about 8,000 emails, 7,000 another emails, because me and emails just don't get along. You know, text me if you need to, but don't keep sending me a bunch of emails. And I kept wondering why I kept being so, like, I kept feeling like you're just not
resistance to it,
you know. And no, it's because it's out
of
alignment with the flow of who I am.
That's when you learn how to
I don't do those things. I have yes. So yeah, you just you free me, bro.
I love that. I so love that.
Your invoice for being a man.
Okay.
You know what's up. You know what,
for
me.
Go ahead.
That's just all I'm doing. All I'm doing is showing you what I see in the mirror. When I speak, it's what I see in the mirror.
Yes. But you know what? You just gave me a new permission slip. We all need them.
There we go. And I love that you said that, LT. You said this serendipity plus intention, right? Permission slip, right? And earlier you were like, you know, people, you know, sometimes we wait on people to give us permission. And it's true that we should definitely, like, when we have the ability to go forward and not wait for that permission. But it's interesting because when you really look at how it stacks up, the way that happens is by literally rewinding the last 2.5 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes of this experience and all the things that's been said between you, between Eric, and between myself. What it is in order for you to even unlock, it helps when other people, when you can see it as an example with other people. Like, that's why it's so important for us to keep doing exactly what we're doing. Because just by having a conversation, just by us feeling this way and living it by example, and then expressing it every time we get a chance to open our mouths, because it just is our reality, that helps other people to see the possibilities. That helps other people to see it in themselves. That helps other people to have a point of reference to say, I was kind of thinking that. But again, there was all these different thoughts, so I didn't know which way to go. And now these people have really helped me. And just like how you're saying with Eric. And that's why I love what you just said about the permission slip. And that is what happens. And that's why it's so important to first live by example, to walk the walk, and then on top of walking the walk, talk the talk as much as fucking possible. Because that's how you help others to know what is possible and to see it within themselves as a possibility. LT. This is beautiful.
Man, it's just one of those things. Do you have another jewel in here that you just wanted to say? Because, you know, I just feel like you mic yourself, and I know you're busy in the meeting, but is there one more jewel you'd like to drop? I don't get to hear.
Sometimes, I was just going to say, sometimes, this makes me think about one of my original quotes. Sometimes hearing a person's voice makes all the difference in the world.
It is, you know, and sometimes when he and I are inboxing each other, I actually hear it in his voice.
Right.
So he just you know, if you have something to say,
if you be so
I would appreciate it. I don't get to hear you talk anymore.
Yeah, I know, but I haven't been in the room in a minute. I mean, on and off sporadically. But the other thing that I'm dealing with, probably more so than anything right now, is just transition. Like the transition piece, and we're always in it. You know, we act like it's a season, but really and truly, the older I get, the more I realize that's a daily thing. You know, transition is daily. It's not this big event that you're running to and then, oh my God, I'm going to change today or I'm going to change it. It's like it's a gradual thing. It really is. And you got to prepare yourself for the gradual nature of it. Not so much the herky jerky, okay, I'm gonna pivot and change it, and that's another thing that I find myself doing, especially being in these corporate circles. That's the first thing that everybody says, you gotta pivot and you gotta change right away. And it's like, yeah, there are times that maybe there's an emergency or something of that nature you gotta deal with, right? But man, our lives are not made for us to just be stopping and turning all the time. Because if you keep stopping and turning, you're going to be going in a circle. And if you go in a circle, you're going to be dizzy. And if you're dizzy, then man, you can't pay attention to nothing. You're out of it. And that's when all kind of crazy stuff can happen to you. Depression, fear, anger, all that stuff happens because, man, you're confused. So, you know, I'm really learning to get into the flow of my life. And then when I do that, man, like what we just talked about, fear is dissipating. You see what I'm saying? It may show up,
yeah,
but it ain't gonna stay. You get me?
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things that are bad for me. They can't stay because I'm in that flow. And I ain't just changing just to change, or somebody say something and then I go do this and go do that. I still find myself doing that sometimes now, and that is like the worst. That is not good for me at all. And I'm really learning to just calm down and just live this thing down and just know that good things are about to happen. Yeah. And they are happening. Not about to. They are happening.
They are happening. But here, E, what I also heard you say right at the top of it, you said being in the, and listen to your language, being in the corporate circle. So when you started talking about the dizziness, you're in a circle already. The circle already. And so being able to, so transition, right, because you use that word as well, is a part of flow, right? It's a part of flow. It's, you know, this hard pivoting thing that they're talking about.
Yo, dare I say it is flow, yo? Think about it. It's movement. And what is flow?
What is flow? It's movement, right?
Transition is flow.
Yes, and the amazing thing about transitioning, you get to navigate it, right? You get to navigate. So if you are not aligned with, or you are disaligned, no longer in agreement with, because that's what I hear, is the disagreement with this circle, get out of the circle. Get out with the circle, or open the space of that circle so that there can be more entry and more exit and more entry and more exit. See, when it's in a circle, it's actually closed. It just keeps going around and around and around and around and around and around. It's like that song. It's like the song that never, that way, right? But why don't, you know, you have the authority, you have dominion to open the circle.
Yeah.
You have the authority to do that.
You know what? This is beautiful. This is how I want to, even if I could, tie a bow on this. This is so great. So you think about flow. You think about, like, a couple of things came to mind while you all were talking, and it goes back to that permission thing and that living by example. I'm in school for psychotherapy right now. And the school that I'm in, the person who's responsible for this school, his name is Milton Erickson, and he is half of responsible for the entire field of psychotherapy today. Literally half of the entire thing. And the other part of the pie is divided up amongst a bunch of other contributors. The reason why is because of his experiential approach. What's interesting is that the teacher of this class, his name is Dr. Jeffrey Zeig. He was an understudy of this guy, Milton Erickson, for 7 years. This guy has a lot of books and a lot of great resources, and his approach was dynamic. When they met and he allowed him to be an understudy, he said, out of all of the books, out of all of the millions of things that you'll learn from me, it's really only 2 things that's important that you just need to remember. It's literally just 2 things. Number 1, that it's always about motivation. And number 2, that people don't know the power and the potential that they possess. Those are the only two things. When I heard that, it went very, very deep for me, because I knew that all the things that was going to be the branches of this and the terms and the different techniques and all of this was going to boil down to those two things. What we're here to do as light bringers, as people, you, me, LT, Eric, everybody else that's in the room, we have the ability to help people to understand the power within them, the potential that they have, the potential that's there, because people don't know. We don't know. This is what we're figuring out every day. So what we're helping people to do is not just to navigate. We're not just talking to them about how to navigate. We're helping them to know that they are navigators, or that they can be navigators, that they can actually navigate their own life. If they know that there's a steering wheel that they can grab onto that's right there, if they know that they have that ability to. And so that and and yielding to that flow and accepting the process and accepting this transition as that, like, that's what it is. This is why I love this accountability partners concept, because I've realized the number one way for us to learn and grow in life is that you find the answers by tuning into your emotions and having other people who just so happen to be more emotionally intelligent than you are on the maturity spectrum to give you an example of what's possible, of what potential is there, and of what's inside of you. If you know and you have someone to say, oh yeah, if you just look here, it's the realization moment. It's that. So that's what I love about this.
Man, that's dope, bro.
Thanks, man.
You know, and think about this though. And there's something else that you said that I talk about all the time, but you just added another nuance to it. So I talk about the difference between motivation and inspiration, right?
Right.
And you said, and this is so.
I was trying to. I was literally trying to listen to you more closely, and I
still say this, but you just changed my definition. The difference between motivation and inspiration is this: motivation is usually like that momentary thing, right? That you get when, you know, like for instance, salesmen are motivators because they get you to do something, right? From their speech or from something they say, and then you're involved to do it. Motivational speakers, all of that, right? It's in the moment. It's right there. Inspiration comes from that word inspire, which means breathe into, right? So when someone inspires you, they breathe into you, and they usually connect with something that's already inside you.
Wow. Yeah.
And it stays with you. It's not something that, you know, just runs away, you know, like for instance, when the new car smell is gone and then you're not motivated no more, you're like, damn, I gotta pay this note.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
But what you said that adds to it is motivation can be a very good thing too, because you're constantly being motivated.
Yes.
That's the word that needs to be added to it, constantly.
Yes.
It's not a one-time thing.
Yes.
And I think, you know, and I'll be honest, that I've fallen for that, right? Where it's like, oh, yeah, I can do it. And then before you know it, it's like, man, that emotion goes, because we know emotions change every year, month,
moment,
day,
moment,
hour,
moment.
They change all the time.
Every moment.
When you're tied to the emotion, right? You're tied to the emotional piece to it. Now, it's not bad, but emotions can be a positive energy that takes you to another place.
They're the guide.
Right, but,
you know?
But it can't be the thing that sustains you. It's the vitamin.
Yeah.
It's the vitamin. It's not the nutrients that you get in the meal. So, man, that was dope right there. Constant motivation.
Wow.
Adding that word, just, you know,
took
that concept to another level for me.
Thank you, bro. They taught us, you know, how you're always trying to get a person to realize what's possible, to realize the potential. And the reason why they kept pointing that out is because they were saying it's not about always what you know. I love this. Check this out. They were like, it's not always about what you know, meaning that, okay, let me rephrase it. Knowledge it's always about knowledge. But the thing is, right now in our brains, we have so much knowledge and so much information. Now, what's at the forefront for us, for me, you, LT, Eric, and JD, Ken, T, Isaiah, Constantine, Meyer. Let's see who we got here. Dr. Emmanuel, Sherry, Eunice. What's at the forefront, even in that prefrontal cortex, is, and what's lit up, what's in focus is what we need for this experience. There's so many other things, though, that's there right now that don't need to be engaged. So what they said was, and what they talk about, is that the way you help people as a therapist mostly is helping them to realize either A, what they already know, but they just haven't need to tap into that thought or that idea, or something that they didn't know, but that they now see is possible through your words, through your suggestion, through your example. That shit was so powerful to me. I was like, yo, that's it right there.
And see, that's look, forget this. And then there's another concept, right? Man, you just hit all my concepts as well. I love this.
Wow.
But confirmation instead of revelation, right? Because everybody want like something that's so new and so revolutionary and oh my God, I've never heard it. But man, when something is confirmed, and that's exactly what you just said, when it's confirmed, it's something that you already know, or there is a knowing about something. And then something else or another catalyst comes in to connect you with that knowing.
That's it.
And then that knowing becomes action.
Yep, it lights up.
Or doing.
Yep.
So that's powerful, man. And that lines up with exactly what you just said.
Realization.
Man.
Realization.
Yes, sir.
And that's why I realized that the best way, again, to help ourselves with realizations, Eric, you said something else earlier that made me think about what I look at mistakes as, right? So you take a mistake, it's just like in film when you got the clapper and you're like, all right, another take. So it's a mistake. The only way that something in life that we might consider a mistake or something that if I just sum it up and just say we desire a different outcome, whether it was that time or in now a future time, the only way that is not helpful for us is if we don't learn from it. Like, it's so simple, right? But at the same time, it's so heavy. The only way it's actually detrimental for us is if we don't learn from it. If we do, not only is it helpful, but it goes with the flow. Because with evolution and with flowing and growing and learning, the way that you learn is experiential. And it's not about everything going right. It's about you pulling out of everything what you can to make more things go right and to guide and to navigate your life and to all the things that we're talking about, So I love this. And it made me think about that when you were talking about the contrast earlier, Eric, about something that you didn't desire to happen, but now what it made you learn from it. I'm like, yep, same flow. So between that and between this concept of realization, and I just want to tie a bow with this point right here. Remember that it's not just about knowledge. When it comes to yourself or when it comes to you helping other people in any way that you do, and whatever you do, whoever you are, whatever your service is to life, to the world, to your family, to your loved ones, to your friends, to everybody that you see, remember that it's not just about knowledge. It's about realization, because realization is what allows you to tap into the knowledge so that can then go forward and you could put it to use, or it can motivate you like, oh shit, I didn't know. Okay, now that I know that, boom, this is possible. That's what's happening to us in this experience. We are living it and breathing it right now. We're talking it and walking it. We are listening to each other and we're talking to each other about how to actually go with this flow. And it's helping every last person in different ways because it's a realization process. So I just want to say that, and man, this is great. I want to invite others to the stage. We're hanging out to 10:30. Let's keep this thing going. Let's talk about realization. Let's talk about what your realizations have been, even just in this last 30-minute conversation. go ahead and throw up your hand, throw up a wave. Come on up with us.
Hey, I got to bounce for a minute too, man. Not when it gets juicy, I got to bounce. Anyway, I'm going to get back. So I think I only got 15 minutes in this beat.
You know it, brother.
Be back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. JD Myers coming up. Anybody else, come on up to the stage. And if not, if you are enjoying this in the background as the soundtrack, the thing that's allowing you realization, the thing that's just continuing to open up your eyes about things, you know, the thing that's just, you like the music, maybe just like the vibe, you know, maybe the shit just really sounds live, and maybe it's just giving you a high five, no job, like whatever it is, just keep on going with it. Yes. And so on that tip, everybody, let's open up our microphones and say good morning to one of our great brothers, the brother Meyer Clarity, our family. Meyer.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
What's happening, Meyer?
Brother.
Yes. Love, fam. Love, fam. Good morning, Meyer. What's happening, brother? How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm just rolling more of this jazz cabbage and trying to get the day started off the right foot. Apparently I'm hella negative.
Okay. Who told you this, bro? I'll be the judge of that. I'll be the judge of that.
No, you guys get my sunny, sparkling disposition. If you hang out with me,
hey, yo, hold on, yo, I love that. Yo, next time somebody asks me, you know, about that, I'm be like, no, you get my sunny, sparkling disposition. Yo, the image that came to my mind just now, like your face as the sun. Yo, that was beautiful.
It's like the 30-day free trial.
Hey, yo, hold on, yo. I gotta ask you this question. With that, is it the 30-day free trial where you got to put in your credit card first, and if you forget to cancel that shit, that's your ass? Or is it...
No, I'm an upstanding dude like that.
Okay, so you're not negative. So you're not fucking negative, bro. You're the best person in the world. Go ahead, bro.
Right. No, but like, it's not about negativity. It's just, you know, I call shit out too much. Right. There's a lot of shit to call out.
There's a lot of shit to call out in your defense. Your fucking defense. Like,
and you know, you gotta pick and choose when and where and how you call that out.
Yeah.
I've been calling it out the exact same way to the exact same people. Like, okay, all right, stop.
Right. You've been giving them that rerun. They need that remix now, or.
Like, all right, we get it. Society's dog shit. Can we talk about something else?
Right. Yeah. You're like, we can when it's not dog shit anymore. Nah, I feel you. You know, I do feel, you know, it does become, you know, a game of picking your battles. You know, it becomes a game of like, okay, what's my ultimate goal? And like, am I reaching that? And let me tell you why I say that, bro. So I'll take an example that's a little bit of a contrast, but still in the ballpark. So at the beginning of my experience here on Clubhouse, I hosted a room that was called the Atheist Experience After Show Recap and Chop Up. Now, because of the fact of that being the title, I already knew that, you know, I was going to have to, make sure I managed it to where, because I'm not like a debating guy, I'm not a negative guy, but it's just a place for a good conversation. So there was a couple people that came in of a contrasting view that were asking questions. You know, it was just like this. I'm all about communal, I'm all about having fun. Let's all chop it up. They were asking questions and kind of leading at some things that I knew was going to go in the wrong direction. Yeah, it was going to start to make debate and I'm, you know, it's not that. Yeah. So I was trying to manage and shut that down before it happened. Now, what that equaled was that I was interrupting and cutting off the woman. It was two people. It was a guy and a woman. I was interrupting the woman. And it came off as like I just wasn't letting her talk, you know. Now, the truth was I was trying to stop her from talking, but it was because I was trying to help something else. Now, I knew that at that point, I was like, okay, I have a decision here to make. That decision is either I could continue to do this, because like the guy was like, hey, man, can you just let her talk? Like, come on. And I thought real quick, I was like, okay, I can continue to do this. And even though I have good intentions, right now, they're not able to understand that. Like, it just really feels negative. I'm cutting them off. And by all means, I am cutting them off. And since I don't have a way to get them to understand it at this second, I realized I'm going to need to humble out, actually, just right now, drop of a dime. The guy was like, hey, man, can you just let her talk? And then I stopped. And even though it was my room, my experience, I could be like, no, bro, look, this is what I'm trying to do. I stopped and I was like, okay, I'm going to stop. And I was like, all right, my bad. And then I apologized to the woman. I let her talk. It went on. Eventually, I was able to help it so they didn't go, and I told them my intentions and I was able to help the situation and guide it. But I realized at that moment, even with my good intentions, I could be seen as an asshole right now and not ever get them to speak to me again, or they just be like, fuck it, I ain't never coming back. Or I could, yeah. So I decided at that point to go in a different way. Now, it worked out really good because I had a great experience. They had a great experience with me. They even gave me that as good feedback and everything. And it allowed me to live another day to have people that I want to reach, that I do want to be able to share some other views, but they'll actually be open because I was nice to them and I had to make a different decision. So yeah, bro, I get that shit, man.
Like, that makes sense. Like, they want to feel heard, and if you hear people, then they'll listen to you.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Also, why do I feel like I was there for that? Like, that situation, I feel like I saw that go down.
You might have, bro. You might have been in the audience that day.
Maybe that just happens on Clubhouse a lot.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. But, I just chop it up that way because, to me, even in where we started this part, man, all of this is emotional intelligence. That's, again, what I love about this. We're always talking about emotional intelligence, no matter what aspect of it. Because even when you comb through and just say, okay, gotta pick my battles, gotta pick and choose. Sometimes gotta be able to do things this way just to get an even bigger goal if I'm trying to work with people or get them to hear me, blah, blah, blah. It's just that constant thing. The thing I like most is that you just look at each situation and just handle it accordingly. Like, you don't do a cookie cutter kind of thing. So you can flow. Yeah. What'd you say, bro?
Like, the cookie cutter thing is like why everything sucks. Like,
right.
You can't have one tool.
Right.
Like, yeah. No, I appreciate that.
No doubt, bro. So yeah, man. Everything else good with you, bro?
Yeah, man. Just trying to get the motivation going and soaking up the good vibes.
Yes, sir.
Picking the battles.
100, baby. 100. And we've been having some good conversation in here. LT, Eric, even earlier today, the brother Aaron Myers. So, earlier today was a guy named Aaron Myers that was here.
Oh, shit.
Right.
Someone's taking my spot.
He was taking both our spots this morning.
True. Well, on that note, I'd like to remind everyone that I love y'all and that I appreciate y'all.
Hell yeah, and bro.
Aaron Meyer can never do what I can.
Right. Oh yeah, bro. We love you too, man. It's always great to see you, bro. Yes. Y'all, let's say what's up to the brother Ken Briscoe. Brother Ken, good morning, broski.
What up, brother? Morning, Myers. Everybody doing? LT, JD, what's happening there?
Yo. Doing
you can check your text message, sir.
Okay, well then that's what I need to do.
That's how you know real family, bro. When they
you are on your phone. Stop acting like you don't see it.
LT.
Yes.
My calendar thing must be a little off because I had this happen yesterday.
I thought you was just ignoring me in front of all these people.
LT, they wouldn't know I was ignoring you unless you said it.
Yo, there's nothing more fun than hearing an emotionally intelligent argument unfold.
Right. We're trying to be emotionally responsible.
Oh, man. Yo, that's so great. Yo, you weren't even off mute 5 seconds, bro. You got lit up.
Hey.
Yo.
This was the interruption of broadcast.
Right.
Broadcast to announce. Can I just text you?
Yes, just tell me the time. Just text me the time so I can make sure we're good.
Yo, you know what I love about LT, yo? I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave LT alone. Right? I'm really not. So, LT will come on and be like, "Hey, I need you to DM me right now."
Right. Hey, what's going on?
Stop it. Why you doing that?
You know I only do it because I love you.
Yo, the funny thing is, it's a Leo thing. Because we'll call your phone and we'll be like, listen at the phone like, you better answer.
That's so true.
You better answer. So I've gotten better. I have gotten better. So that was really impulsive because we are impulsive too. So I just impulsively said, Ken, I just said you. Like I didn't wait.
But wait, you're going to be like, I know you're on your phone.
Yes.
I got no room. I got to be like, you're right.
Yo, the first time I heard LT say to somebody, "Yo, DM me so we could talk," instead of her just DMing them and saying, "Hey, what's up?" Yo, I died. Yo, I put my joint on mute and I died. So now that you just let me know that that's a Leo thing, and then I confirmed it in my head because I was like, wait a minute, I know other Leos like that. That's so true. Okay, so now your initial for today is, let's see, Leo. Shit.
Tendency.
What'd you say? Leo tendency. Yeah.
That's right.
There we go, yo, Leo tendency.
Listen, and my body told me that I was doing a Leo tendency shit because it started gravitating like. I started panting like, yeah. And I'm laying down. Like I was doing it. I did it, and then you just did an impulsive move.
Right. Yo, I love it.
I know myself well.
Yo, and so here's the thing I love about it, right? And I told my son this years ago. Every trait is needed, right? So that's what I love about you, because that Leo, we need that Leo energy at times. Like I need you out in front of me, sometimes throwing that fire, yo. You know what I mean?
Yo, I literally had a Leoism.
Leoism. Yo, I love that, yo. Yo.
Did some shit that I've been practicing.
Oh man.
Impulsivity. So.
Yo, LT, I got your next concept, yo. Leoisms, yo. Where you just drop a line where you like, yo, when you do X, Y, and Z, Leoisms.
Yes. I wanted to start a room for Leos only.
Whew. Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Yo, that's dope as hell, yo. That's dope as hell for Leos only. Like an exclusive club. Yo, that's dope as hell. And start the club on that joint too. Because that's immediate. That's perfect brand. Yo, oh my God.
What's funny is, I do have to tell you this part. So I don't have my own official club, which I did intentionally, but was actually asked last night to be an admin of the club that we're already in.
Whoop, whoop. Nice.
So that was really dope. That Lola reached out to me and was like, hey, I would really be honored if you would be one of our admins in this club. So,
that's so dope.
Yeah, I didn't have to start, and it's over like 6,000 people already in this club. I didn't have to start it from scratch. So,
yo, that's so dope.
The party with these things, yeah.
Which what's the name of this club?
It's
the Women Matter.
Yeah.
LT. Okay, LT. I can't even, like, you're too far away. I can't give you the love I want to give you right now. Yo, I'm so happy about that. I am so happy, LT, because I see this. I've been watching it unfold, and I see what this is about to be. That's amazing, LT. Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's all about alignment and flow. Back to what we were talking about before. One of the things that Leos that we do is we think that we need to start things ourselves. And I don't know if anybody else struggle with this, or thinking that you have to be the starter. And my spirit, like, even though they released us to have clubs, it wasn't aligned with me any longer to actually make a get your shit together club or anything like that. It didn't just align with me.
Right.
And I said, you know what? I'm just going to be still and continue to grow. And everybody started the club, man. It was like one of those things that everybody that in their mama, is like one of the things that Facebook, everybody and their mama on Facebook, but everybody and their mama started the club. And what I realized with that was that you don't have to own the room. You don't have to own the whole building, right? I heard somebody say, I don't want a piece of the pie. I just want the recipe. Give me the recipe.
Yes.
And so that's how I've been approaching things, is that I don't want a piece of pie, but I do want the recipe. And so the club itself has a recipe. It's been there. It has over 6,000 members. So this is a part of the recipe, to be able to collaborate with people. And it's what I'm all about. I'm about the We Club.
Right.
Everything that I do is about what we can do together, Yeah. And it just with me. So when I got the inbox last night, while we were hosting the date room, I was like, huh? And while they were talking, and she was like, yes, so I'm gonna need you to, leave the club, and then I'm gonna invite you back in, but you have the admin right at this point. So I was like, wow.
Yo, that's so dope. Okay, so this is what I love about this, because of how your characteristics come together. At some point, when I'm looking at myself as a Taurus, I started kind of seeing myself as just an evolution, right? So I would look at my quote unquote Taurus traits, and I would see how when you look them up and when they say they're weaknesses, I realize how I've worked with those weaknesses till now they aren't weaknesses anymore. And I continue to monitor them. So now, Evolve Taurus. I'm looking at Evolve Leo. And as I appreciate how it all is coming together, your balance of having that leadership energy, that Leo energy, and just the balance of being in the flow, it's so good. Okay. So, Ken, with that, bro, as you can see, this is what happens in a Leo conversation and a long-winded Taurus conversation. Brother Ken, you still with us, bro?
Well, I'm an Aquarius, so I don't appreciate conversations. I mean, y'all talking rooms with each other, affirming each other.
Right.
I'm out here on the fringes trying to figure out when you gonna talk about Aquarius. Okay.
Listen, so this Leo to that Aquarius brother, man.
Right.
Let me tell you something. You're such my accountability in so many ways. That's why I've been trying to get on your schedule. Like, I need to talk to you. Like, you kind of, I'm firing your water, right?
Yep.
That's me.
Your water, okay. Yeah, so, you help to put some dazzle on my fire when I'm sparking off like that. My impulsivity, like, I need to talk to you. So you dash out.
So, we got to temper it down a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, temper it down. So, my fire is sparking. So, brother, my Aquarius brother.
Right.
Water rush today.
My Aquarius brother.
Listen, I'm at the gym trying to water myself.
Some water.
Yeah. I'm trying to water myself right now. But as always, I always like to say thank you for hosting this room.
Oh yeah.
Like coming in and talking to the beautiful people. It's Friday.
Yes.
Give a shit Friday.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I'm excited about everything that's going to unfold.
Man, same here, bro. And I hear, bro. I'm picturing you in my mind, man. You sound like you're on are you on the stair joint, or are you elliptical, or are you on treadmill?
Man, I'm on this treadmill.
You're on that treadmill, right? So I'm seeing you on the treadmill. I'm seeing you with your mask on. I'm seeing you like you got the foam and you got the ear, bro. You already get.
That's a horrible picture, bro. Nobody wants to describe like that. You get mask on. Come on.
I'm just saying, man.
He's sweating.
That's disrespectful Leo talk right now. See what I'm saying?
You're looking at the time and wishing that it hurry up and meet the time that you said.
Right,
so
right.
You know,
that's right.
Legs burning.
Right.
Trying to legs and feet moving faster than what he wants to.
Right.
It's not cool. As you get older, you keep trying to bring your youth back. It ain't coming. It ain't coming.
It ain't coming back.
Oh my gosh. Yo, I love it. That's why we keep going to keep trying to put ourselves in that loop of that like we can do it. I think I can.
Come on, bro. Every day I lie to myself. Every single day, yo. I'm like, yo, watch this. I'm gonna look like this in 3 months. Yo, you ain't, yo.
You said every day you lie to
Every
yourself?
day.
Every morning, bro. Every morning, I tell myself a lie. I look at a magazine and look on TV like, yo, that's gonna be me. It's a straight lie.
Oh my God, yo. Well, look, this is the funny part about it. Because obviously in that equation with telling yourself that lie, you believe that shit so much that your ass is there every day you get the opportunity to.
That's the truth too, man. Every day. One more day, I believe that lie.
Right.
Go to the gym, go to work, come home, and lie myself the next day. That's it.
Yo, I gotta tell you a funny ass story too about my homeboy, like my gym stories. And again, this is why I say what I say, that in the midst of all of that, what I see is a person who inspires me and a person who inspires everybody else. Because he keeps pushing on in the midst of the ongoing struggle.
They say the struggle don't stop, man. So
Right.
I just keep pushing every day.
Gotta keep pushing on. Oh man, I love it. Let me tell y'all something hilarious, right? So this is how much of a friend I am. Show you how much of an accountability partner I am. So I'm so much of an accountability partner that when I was 21, I'm hanging out with my good homeboy. We're at the gym and we were in a rap group together. So, you know, we were used to linking up. And he was like, bro, I want to start getting together with you, man. Try to get my shit together, you know, get you to the gym, man. He's like, what time you go? I was like, bro, I go 5:30 in the morning. He was like, all right, bro. Okay. I'm there. I'm like, bro, I mean, you know, if you're there, I'm there. So he comes, you know, to the gym. We start hanging out. And we have this crazy ass human relationship, right? So he doesn't know too much about, you know, the different exercises, what to call them, you know, how to do them, whatever. So I'm walking him through some stuff. So he's like, bro, what's the correct way to do a chin up? So I'm like, okay, bro, what you want to do is, and we're standing in front of like the mirrors on the wall, whatever. I'm like, yo, all right, here's what you want to do. So position yourself in the mirror. You want to put your feet shoulder width apart. You want to loosen up your shoulders or whatever. Keep your arms down to your side. Loosen up. You want to look in the mirror. Keep your head like level. And just take your head and just start like slowly tilting your chin up and down. Up and down. It's like just make sure you don't want to use your whole body. Just tilt your chin up and down. It's the proper way to do a chin up. He's like, all right, cool. So yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back, bro. He's like, all right, man. I go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom, which is like, it's only like maybe 10 feet away. And there's no door to it. It's just like one of those open ones. You just walk in, you walk around and, you know. So I go in and like 2 or 3 minutes later, I peek around the corner and he is standing in the mirror, feet shoulder width apart, hands down to his side, looking straight in the mirror and lifting his chin up and down. Hey, kid, when I tell you, bro, I have not recovered from that laugh yet. Like I still got a few stitches that need to be removed. Bruh. Yo, I came over there and I was like, bro, oh my God. He was like, yo, this ain't how it's supposed to go. I was like, yo, no, bro. When I tell you, we died laughing. That was the funniest shit ever.
Real quick, I want to tell you that you also understand how a measure of strength is when you can do chin-ups and pull-ups.
Right.
So people don't really understand that exercise is one of the hardest ones in the gym.
Is it?
So just doing 10 really shows that you got some upper body strength. So,
right.
And on that note, I'm going to go do 2 or 3.
Let's get it, kid. I think I can. Just, you know, just repeat it over and over to yourself, bro. And even if you don't get those 10, bro, you know, you at least, you know, you tried. And so, you know, you can lie to yourself again and go 2 or 3 more after that second set. I love it, fam. In fact, I realized that I'm like, as long as I get it in over the course of time, like I've changed the parameters. I'm like, we're good. Well, that tip, everybody. Let's say what's up to JD. JD. What's up, JD? Are you there?
Hey, guys.
What's up, JD? Good morning to you.
Good morning. I know I haven't been in here in so long. I just really been busy. I've had a lot of morning meetings. I mean, I prefer them, but like, I didn't realize how much it got into my Clubhouse time. Did not realize how much it cut into my Clubhouse time, but how are y'all doing?
Doing well, JD. Doing well. We hanging out here as always, having great conversation, good time, good vibes as always. Golly. And JD, we got the family, the AP family. For everybody, if you look up at the top of the screen, finally got the club. Now, we are here. We doing it. AP family. So, yeah, y'all can go ahead and hit that, hit the join button or whatever, however it works. Actually, I got to figure out, Ken, matter of fact, I don't know if you're still there. You might be. All right, bro, if you didn't do 10, are you there? Okay. Damn, you jumped in too fast, bro. I was going to say, if you was in the middle of that chin up, bro, I would take credit for messing it up. Why you didn't get the 10?
I don't need an excuse to stop, bro. Stop.
Ken, do you know the difference between what it means to follow a club or join a club from the backside of like what that means? Like what's the functionality?
Well, from what I saw and I experienced with LT, when you're a member of a club, you can be part of the members only rooms.
Got
you
it.
can create
Okay.
rooms strictly for members. And if you follow what that club publishes and the things that are going on. One of the problems I had is I joined the club, posted a room, but because I wasn't the admin, it was members only.
Got
so
it.
I had to
Okay.
open it up after I started the club. But that's the difference.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that, man. Thanks for that. And then, and this could be anybody else who knows LT, JD Meyer, or anybody who's in the audience. The other question that I had was, when you join a club, do you then see the events that the administrator creates automatically?
Yeah, it shows in your hallway.
Gotcha. When you
And
say,
you get notifications too.
oh, you do get
So
okay.
every time
Cool.
they do something, you get a notification like this is something that says this club has started this room or scheduled this room.
Got it.
Because you're a
Okay.
member.
All right, perfect. Thank you for that. And I asked that question because, from now on, in order to let people know, people who are new to the show or people who come through, know how to receive the notifications, I'll just say, join the family, and you'll see the notifications come through, so you'll know when we're live, as well as, of course, knowing that we're here 7:30 to 10:30. Okay, cool. Thanks for that. JD, thank you. And I'm sorry about that derail. I just had to figure out that info real quick. JD.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
How are you? It's so good to see you. It's one of those things where I hope when people say like, oh my gosh, I haven't been here, I hope they are saying that more so that they feel like, oh my gosh, I've been missing, more so than feeling like y'all probably been wondering where I am and I'm sorry I haven't been.
No, it's more so like I've been missing out because I always come here for my morning and my refresh, and like I have my music on in the background, whatever I'm listening to, but I'm listening to you guys in my ear, but I can't have my music on in the background and also listen to you guys and also listen to my meeting on Teams. So something has to get cut out. So I was like, okay, I'll come back, and then I was also like just dealing with a bunch of shit going on.
Man. Call it for what it is.
A bunch of shit. And trying to work through that.
Yeah.
I'm paying my therapist for a reason. So just trying to work through all of that, and then more shit happened. I'm just like, all right. I can't just shut down. I have to learn to work through it. So I've been working through it. I know I talked to Auntie LT one of those days. So today is a better day. I did some things that I've always wanted to do and I have been doing, but I fell off. So I've been doing like getting back to me and getting back to like who I am on a day-to-day basis. And it's okay to not be yourself. Like, it is totally fine. It's totally normal. We have feelings, we have emotions, we go through things.
And that's part of being yourself.
And that's part of being myself. Like, I don't always have to be this cheery, like, you know,
right,
happy-go-lucky, smooth sailing kind of person all the time. I can be upset. I can have these emotions. I can be dramatic. Like, I don't have to be that person all the time. So, you know, it's just nice to come back to me, and I have a nice weekend planned, and you know, excited for 5 o'clock.
Yes.
You know, just been, you know, I called my mom yesterday, and you know, just, I so many to call my grandma, because I don't know if you guys have this thing. So because I wasn't born in America, you know, Caribbean people have their own type of culture.
Right.
So, you know, you'll have these dreams, and then like you'll tell your grandparents or you tell your mom about the dreams, and they'll tell you like what it means and stuff. So my mom told me she had a dream about fish, and you know, dreaming about fish and somebody's pregnant. She's like, "Well, are you pregnant?" I'm like, "No, please stop."
You're like, that's one dream that you need to go back and we need to read. Which one
of your other nieces or nephews? Like, I don't know.
Right.
Wrong person. So, you know, so we talked that day, and then hold
on for a second. Let me tell you what's funny as shit about this. Because if your mom was like, I had a dream that you are about to have $1 million and you know, it's about to come through, you'd be like, oh, that's what's up. Like, bring it on.
Yeah.
But this water, this pregnancy shit, you better get that shit out of here. Ain't talking about me.
No, that's not about me. That's not about me, girl. Wrong person.
Right.
I don't know if you have another kid.
Some other things we need to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't know about. But no, so she said she had a dream about me giving her water.
Okay.
And then she called my grandma. My grandma was like, "Oh, it means like fortune or something. Like she's gonna get a lot of money coming in." I was like, "What?" So she was like, "Your grandmother said to call her," and I was like, "All right, I'll call her today." So I'm just like, I'll call her and I'll listen, because you know, I like to think that I'm the favorite grandchild because I'm one of the youngest ones that they've lived with. My grandmother and I do have a better relationship than I'd have with what she has with my other cousins. So it's hard to entertain her, and you know, she says do something, I'll do it. Because they know intuitively. So I'll follow her. I'm not gonna think she's crazy. I'm gonna just, you know, listen to what she has to say and take it. I discern from it, and yes, it's my grandmother, but discern from it and do what I need to do. So,
that balance. Look, it's what I call right. I love that. I always say, hear other opinions, follow your heart, right? And then, of course, you know, I always say, like, not giving a fuck about other people's opinions is a real liberating feeling, especially when at the same time you're mature enough to take positive, constructive criticism. Balance is the name of the game. I love being able to listen to other people and have this balance of being able to consider what they're saying without it derailing or even interfering with my own goals for myself, my self-awareness, and me knowing who I am. It's such a beautiful, balanced, mature kind of place to be.
Yep. So I'm going to take what I need to take and leave what I need to leave. But I know, like, she does, like, she might sound crazy, but it all makes sense. Because I know growing up, she'd be like, oh, well, you know, I just don't feel right around this person. And, like, you know, I don't really like who they, like, without even knowing somebody, you know? And I grew up, you know, as a young child, I was like, what do you mean? But, like, I get it now.
Yes.
Like, I'll come into contact with people, I'm just like, I don't want to do this. I don't like them.
Yes. And you, oh my gosh. Okay. Here's the other reason why I love what you're saying. Okay. I've been saying this on a day-to-day basis. When you look at knowledge, when you look at wisdom, when you look at understanding, all time periods are relative. So when you take that trait and that, like, not even knowing a person and already having a feeling, if you keep going far enough back in time, you get to the point where that's actually a very valid. It's the reason why you and I are having this conversation right now, JD, because literally at one point in time, having that level of impulsivity is the thing that saved your life, because making that quick judgment and having that real hardcore black and white was needed, because all there was your primitive people and other primitive people who were trying to fucking eat you or kill you, or animals for that matter. So you needed that. But then as you keep fast forwarding, here we are in a time where we're not under that level of threat. So that's why we keep on growing, and why it's like you can understand it in the generations before. You can understand these tendencies. You see, like how you said, where there are certain scenarios where that is valuable, but you learn how to balance it out with it not being the whole equation, but just the one little thing. And then the rest is you being able to feel out people and judge it in a much more mature way, you know?
Yeah. So
that balance, man.
it's all about that balance, and I take that from her. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'll listen to what she has to say, and let her know whenever my aunt's coming back to Georgia because my aunt travels back and forth from the United States to there. Just send me whatever. Just make sure she gets all her medicines together and all the keys and everything, and just pack it up. So because my mom said my aunt may come in May, just because I don't have any plans of traveling that far right now. With everything going on, I'm not vaccinated. I'm not essential, so I'm not going to take anybody's spot in the line.
Yeah.
So, and I do want to go see them, but I'll wait. I will wait.
Right. I love that.
I think my parents are going to get vaccinated so they can go in December. But if I'm not vaccinated by December, I will not go. I'll FaceTime them. I'll spend Christmas on my own. It's okay.
Yeah, I love it. Let me tell you.
Yeah. So I'm excited to talk to her about this.
That is, look, I'm excited because of, again, what really just inspires me about you and about your journey is how you continue to experience by experience, moment by moment, day by day, like just keep finding this place of balance. This, now let me see if I could test my memory. So I think maybe it might be about maybe 2 months ago, we were having a conversation, all of us here, whole family. And I think that you mentioned that one of your favorite words and the ways of looking at this is harmony.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I love that. So,
and then I know you did your explanation of like when you say balance, it means that whole harmony.
Exactly.
That's
harmony.
I said balance as well.
And that's what I love, because thinking back on that and then now bringing it back in here and just even talking about it from that perspective, again, it's what inspires me about your journey, how you keep finding this harmony, this place of like, again, that equanimity, being able to hold your own feelings, hold them strongly, not let them be derailed by other factors while considering other factors and just balancing the two. So I'm excited about the conversation because of where you are before that conversation even happens, which allows us, like when you're in that place, and I think about it every day in my own life, it allows you to then, as like an ambassador, go forward and like do the things in the conversation to help as much as possible for both parties to have a good experience and a good conversation. You know what I mean? It's like, it's that wisdom. You know what to say, what not. You know what boundaries to put up and not, like, and then you going into it with just positive mentality, even in the way that you chuckled about. Like, I love it. I love it. Your journey inspires me, JD.
Thank you so much.
Get it.
Thank you.
Let's get it.
It is a journey.
Yeah. Whew. So it's great to see you. And I also want to say to everybody else here, we're about to wrap this experience up in the next 2 minutes. If you'd like to come to the stage, by all means, my main goal is to say hey, is to say hello to your beautiful face and wish you an amazing day. And if not, you're taking over the world from behind your desk, or you're laying in the bed or just chilling, that's all good too. We're getting ready to tie a bow on this experience, but I want to say hello to you. Sherry, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I just wanted to hop up and say hi and let you know I've been listening to you as my background music.
Yes.
So, yes.
Sherry, it's always a pleasure to see you, and I know that the family is happy to see you too. Everybody.
Yes.
Yes. So good morning to you. I don't know if anybody else wanted to. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if anybody else want to say good morning to Sherry by all means.
Good morning, Sherry.
Morning, Sherry.
Good morning, Sherry.
Hey there.
Morning, Sherry.
Hey, LT, Meyer, JD, Ken, what's happening?
Yes. Good to see you.
Sherry, I just looked at your Twitter, because that's your social media you have linked, and I did not know you were an auditor.
Yes.
You're an accountant. Oh, that's so cool. So I used to year ago, but I'm an accountant. I'm a degree in accounting.
Cool. Okay, I'll have to follow you. So I've been doing this for like at least 3 decades. So if you need any tips or info, I know I wish I could go back and start over. But yeah,
we're gonna have to connect so we can talk about it.
Yeah, that sounds good. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all should put a home on the accounting room.
I know, right?
And just talk about every accountant. That would be dope.
You know what? I was in a room last night where the guy was talking about entrepreneurs, and sometimes they don't know like business and tax and accounting law. And that got me to thinking that, that probably is something, especially for people of color, for Black Americans trying to start something. So
I'm gonna pass off an idea to you too, and this is cool. My creative juices start going. So somewhere in a formula, if you all ever do something with a formula with accounting, right, for all the things, and it could be, and I definitely think the best way to always do things is to like take everything also tied to life, so accounting for things, from accounting as an actual field to accounting for things in your own life, because of course it's always the more relatable on the bottom line, the more it's valuable, it's relatable to everything, and everything, no matter what field, relates to life at its basic core. So I say that to say that somewhere in that formula, I think this would be a cool idea to take the word accountability and to break it up into accountability and do something with that. Like that I could just...
That's cool.
That's super cool. That is really cool.
Sweet. So thank you. I'm glad that it was some, so these ideas come to mind. I just like to throw them out. So like, boom, that just, because I'm just thinking about that. Like, wow, there's so much that you could do with that. That could just go anywhere. It's some great places. So I also love the fact that, like, again, in this space, and it's the whole reason why I created it, people brush shoulders with each other that have things in common, and they go on to do amazing things together, or have, be able to help out each other in various ways. So I'm so glad for the moment that just happened here between you, JD, and Sherry, and just the family as we do. This is great. I got a couple thoughts that I want to leave you all with. Yes.
Before you typo on it, just a quick question.
Yeah.
Because I know you're entertaining calls a lot. When it comes to the hallway, how do you, some of the rooms I don't want to see ever.
Right.
Is that according to my interests? Just curious to know.
Good question. Thank you, LT. Good question. So the first thing is that I'll go down the list because it's a couple of things as this whole algorithm structure is being even built by our actions and serving our interests and that kind of thing. So, of course, as you know, the first thing starts from the top with who you follow. For everyone, the best way to clean up your hallways is to first start with the people that you follow. Many of us follow certain people off the bat who we were either being nice, excited, or maybe we thought that we would want to be connected with them. So momentarily and periodically, going through your list and unfollowing people who you like on other platforms. I tell this to people all the time. If you're on a platform and you have someone as a friend, but you don't ever talk to them, or you really don't connect with them, then you might want to remove that so you can clean up your space a bit. And so I would advise the same thing here, right? So that's the first thing that leads to it. Second thing is that you have the ability to be able to remove a room or hide a room. And now what they're building as we speak, like in real time, they're building the ability for that to start tracking that you don't want to be bothered by that room, and for that not to show, as well as they're going to have a system where it even asks you things like why don't you want to, like further ways to help them to keep it away from you, not just that room, but other things that are related to it too. So I would say that's the best way for me to answer that question. The first thing is the people that you follow. And then the second is the more you swipe, the better it gets. So keep swiping, keep hiding rooms that you don't want to see. And then you're going to start noticing that you don't see them anymore as Clubhouse continues to build out that discovery infrastructure so that they can. So, what discovery is for those that don't know is, and it's the reason why it's at the top of their one of the priorities, is that discovery is allowing for the users that are within the environment to have a deeper experience, allowing for the users to have a deeper experience that's of their liking, so discovering only the rooms, only the people, only the things that they're actually into. And so as with all the branches of that tree, one of them is this piece where we have the ability to, if you're in the hallway and you see a room that you don't like, swipe and you'll see where you can hide the room and keep hiding it in other rooms like it that are the same that you don't want to see. And you'll see your hallways start to clean up a bit. In addition to unfollowing people who you actually realize you don't have in common or don't want to really keep up with them like that. I hope that helped a little bit.
That was beautiful. No, it just makes a lot of sense. I'm getting all of these, like my hallway is like kind of, it's not cluttered, but it's just stuff that I don't want to. Not that I'm up here a lot.
Right.
I have been able to pretty much manage being on the app where just they want a certain thing, but I get a lot of pings and all that other stuff. So I was just wondering, clear.
Yeah. One more thing too, and I'm glad you said that about the pings, because then that sparked another ping in my mind, which is that another thing too for everybody to remember and to know is if you have a person here who you don't necessarily want to see their content, or you don't want them to be able to ping you, we kind of know about the block feature, but I just want to tell you one layer down, which is they call it a soft block, where, and I'm saying this for emotional purposes because it'll be really cool. You'll get it. When you block a person, it makes it be where they can't see that you've blocked them, but it does go ahead and cut off the connection so that they can't ping you, and so that you aren't bothered by their halls or by their activity in the hallways or in other rooms. So remember that. Not only can you, and you can block a person even if they haven't done anything to you. That's really kind of what I want to massage it and show you or tell you. Blocking is just about, actually think of it more. If we were to flip the energy on that, I would flip the button. In fact, I think I would probably do this. This is my, if I were a Clubhouse software engineer and developer, I would flip that to curate, like to the word curate, or curate my experience, because that's what it's really more so about. You're just setting up the boundaries so that you can block the things that just don't interest you. Not just people who annoy you or harassing you, these kind of things. It's a way to look at it and say, I'm curating my space, or I'm guarding myself from things I don't want to see. It's actually a positive tool, not just one to use when someone harasses you or something like that. So I just wanted to tell you that so that you'll know that when you do use the block feature, what it does is it doesn't allow the person to know, so that way they don't take it offensively or anything like that. It just go ahead and put up a wall where they can't ping you or bother you, and you don't see their rooms, and you don't see their activity when they're on stage and these kind of things. And then you have the ability from there to go ahead and unblock them if you want. So that way, say one day you do want to. Like sometimes you might even just do that for a period of time, just because you just don't want to see something for a period of time. But you, at some point, you're like, I'm going to be back into. So here's an example. For all of my people that are out there that are into things like cryptocurrency and trading, you may be in certain spaces where you're learning and growing, but maybe you want to take a break for a second, right? So you might then just be able to put up those boundaries just so you don't see those amazing rooms for a period of time while you're dealing with another subject or whatever. But you plan on coming back to it, in 90 days. So, I'm rambling on about this just because I want you all to think about it in a bit of a softer way, to know the power of that feature in its positivity. So, yeah. Yeah. So on that tip, is there anything else that anyone wanted to say or mention right before I tie it up with a few thoughts? Okay, so on that tip, here's a few thoughts for you, and I think these are going to be helpful as we finish out this experience. Number one, if you feel that you have something to say to enlighten others, be inviting, not intrusive. One feels good, and it may allow you to be heard. The other feels terrible, and it will get you tuned out even before you finish your first sentence or your first thought. Remember, tone is everything. And we chopped that up about that earlier, even with what Myra was catching up about. Here's another one. The tendency is to think that the best way to deal with stress or stressful situations is to aggressively stuff it down or quote unquote be stronger. However, the more rigid you are, the more deeply it permeates your system. Opening up to it allows the energy to move through, giving you the ability to reset and come back to an experience more healthy, positively, and fully. Just remember that opening up to it to allow the energy to move through, that's not saying you're opening up to it to take over you. Remember, you're the navigator. So as long as you're in that awareness, then you're allowing this to come through so they can get out of you. That's why I like what JD was saying earlier and why I was praising her so much. Because when you can not only say that I'll get back to being myself, this happy person, but you accept myself as all the things where you're happy, where you're sad, where you struggle, where you're just fucking pissed off. That just is what it is. It doesn't mean that you'll stay there. It means that it's the reality of what it means to be human and have contrasting experiences. The thing about the sunshine, I would really argue, is that if we only had sunshine, you actually couldn't appreciate it as much as we do. It's having the rain that it makes you appreciate the sunshine even more. It's that contrast, it's that yin and that yang. So that's why I like to look at it that way. So it's all of who we are, and opening up to these energies of being happy, of being pissed the fuck off. Yes, that allows it to move through. And you can guide it to allow that not to make you do terrible things and destructive things. That's a whole different story. But you got to be able to, moving through means being honest with yourself. Sometimes that means going to the gym and taking it out on the gym bag, or taking it out on the treadmill, or taking it out on the music, you know? But you got to open up to it and be honest and allow it to move through. And then from there, many people think that meditation will make them quote unquote soft, but it's actually quite the contrary. Meditation and mindfulness breeds equanimity, compassion, clarity, clear and rational thinking, and even keelness that allows you to deal with all situations better. Those that require calmness and those that require aggressive alertness. And so on that tip, one of the things that I like to do, even with this concept of meditation, is to remove like the deepness, because it's not that deep. And at the same time, it goes deep. But it's when you realize that it's not deep at all. Allowing yourself to take a deep breath and just be able to just calm out for a second is meditation. It's allowing yourself to reconnect. Meditation is not staying in a place for a long period of time. It's reconnecting to a place again and again over time. When I first learned about these sages, these people that we call Jesus or Gandhi, or these people, you know, these Buddha figures, these Krishna and Arjuna figures, like all these figures, and we started to paint these people as perfect, what I started to realize was, wait a minute, nah. I think, first of all, this is a construct deal. But what I really see is when you take away all the exaggeration, what you get down to is the most emotionally intelligent person of that time. the person that it wasn't that they didn't struggle, that they didn't have a fucking moment. Nah, it's that they were able to have a moment and do what we're doing every day, each moment, where they were able to quickly jump on it, not allowed to go too far, not allowed to go too deep, be honest with themselves, take it out in other ways, right? Realize it's not that deep, be able to understand others, have empathy, blah, blah, blah. It's that. And that's the best that it gets, that fast recovery, where to the person that's looking at you, they don't even see the recovery. They never saw anything happen. People look at me all the time, say to me, man, you just look so happy all the time. Like, it never seems like anything is wrong. And I'm like, yeah, it's not because nothing is not wrong. It's because of the fact that in the midst of it, I'm working on myself so much and so fast that I'm able to find that place of peace over and over and over again to a good degree. So that makes it more relative. That makes it more relatable. That actually makes it more realistic, to be honest, because that's what we're dealing with. So the way I look at meditation is that you can literally take 30 seconds and 3 deep breaths. And so that's how I want to close out this experience. No matter where you are, you can be driving in your car, walking, you can be laying in the bed, you can be taking over the world from behind your Zoom meeting. Nothing stops you from being able to just take a deep breath. So we're going to take 3 of them. And on the third one, if you like to, you can open up your mic. We're going to take it all together on number 3. And then we're going to say our last affirmations to each other and get on about this day. So I'm going to take 1 in through the nose and out through the mouth all together. Let's take it in. 1. Let it out. Long. In fact, the longer the breath, the better, because it allows you to slow down your heart rate, allows you to get that oxygen in and flush to all the different body parts. So we're going to take a second deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Feels so good already. You start to feel yourself come down. And again, I do not believe that the only reason why you should meditate or take deep breaths is just to deal with the negative things. No, I'm talking about the overwhelmingly positive things too, because they give us anxiety too. So it's about finding that place in the center, even when we have an overwhelmingly joyful experience like this. So on that tip, everybody, on the count of 3, let's open up our microphones to take this last deep breath together. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Let that shit out. Oh man, did that feel good to y'all? That felt good to me. Feels good. Oh, yeah. Feels good. Yeah. Thanks for putting me on key. It feels good. Yeah. Oh, the beat dropped. Started back over. Feels good. Yeah. I'm about to play it on the piano. It feels good. Yeah. It feels good. Oh shit. Let me see if I can get that. Oh. Y'all took me there. LT, you took me there.
And you went to church on us a little bit too. I heard a little bit of the church come out.
Right. That's what it is, yo. That's my piano roots right there.
Yeah. I actually got a chance to see a little bit of these Serenades yesterday as well.
Oh, man. Wow. And speaking of which, thank you for saying that too. 4 o'clock today, everybody. 4 o'clock today, family. I will be a part of the Clubhouse live concert series with the brother LaChris and the sister Yolanda. And I'm going to be there performing also with a woman named Faranza, or Farza, I think her name is. And she plays the hang drum. And it's going to be amazing. So I'll be performing piano here on Clubhouse 4 p.m. today at the Clubhouse live concert series. So you'll see me live. You'll probably see me or see a notification. If you have your notifications turned on for me, you'll see that I'll be on stage performing. So yeah, I got a 25-minute set and we'll be playing some piano and we're going to have some fun. So by all means, it feels good. Yeah. I hope y'all have a great day today. Much love, Sherry, JD, Meyer, LT. What it be?
Have a great day.
Yes. And
Have a great day. Bye, guys.
Yes. And Eunice and T. Have a great day, Eunice and T. Good morning to you. Yes, everybody. And to my peoples on FB and YT, I see you Monday. Peace. Woohoo. Eunice is coming to the stage. We get a chance to say hey. Hey, Eunice.
Hey.
Yay.
Good morning. What a show. Beautiful. From start to finish. Beautiful. Yes, I was raising my hand. I was raising it for Coco.
Right. I totally forgot. Look.
The church raised your hand.
Eunice, oh my goodness. Look, let me tell you, it was so hilarious because I totally forgot what she just said, which is like,
He's calling me.
he keep calling me to the stage.
Oh my God.
OMG.
It was great. It was good.
Great time as always, right?
Yes.
As absolutely always. Oh man.
Oh God. Man. You know what